What's going on, guys? This is William here with another episode of the William Knows Nothing Show. Today's guest I bring to you is Kwadjo, aka Q. He is a old friend of mine since 10, 11 years ago. Me and him used to go to community college, and I think we acted alongside each other in a theater play. I think that's how we met. Not, if I'm not mistaken, we were learning how to fight with swords, and I think that was a part of the show that we were in. I wasn't necessarily in his class, but anyway, we have a little history together, working together, because he wanted to be a filmmaker and a writer, and I wanted to do the same thing, and blah 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 blah. We are here now. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and today we got together to talk about films, or talk about one film in particular. We talked about The Matrix, and we got to talk about my favorite subject. One of my favorite subjects, anyway, simulation theory. A lot of people have their own ideas of simulation. Or, are we in a simulation? Are we not? I don't know. We don't know. But I love to talk about it because I use that as a way to evaluate my life, and I use it as a tool, so to speak, as a way to appreciate life and blah blah blah. Like I look at myself as, I forget his name, but he mentioned in The Matrix, but when he was out of the Matrix, he said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna go back in the Matrix. Give me right back in there." And there's a long story with that. When we talk about that inside the episode, so we delve into that. I share a little bit of what I believe in terms of not believe in, but my ideas with the simulation theory, and I put it all together, and it's fucking fascinating what we talked about, and I love this shit. So with that being said, we also talk about mental health, because me and him suffered from our own mental health issues. He's personally seen therapist. I think he had a personal therapist and all that. I never have had a personal therapist. I've never seen any kind of therapist or whatever. So I'm doing my own therapy. He has his method. I'm doing mine, and we kind of share our ideas with that, how that works out. And I just want to make sure that I make myself clear that I mean no disrespect to any therapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist, anybody out there that goes to go study a degree and learn things about that one thing. I mean no disrespect. I have my own ways of thinking. I don't have the credentials. I just have my experiences, and that's my credential, just my experience. And that's why I talk, I speak, and try to keep an open mind and remind myself that I know nothing. So that being said, take anything that I say on this episode and what he says with a grain of salt. This is meant for us to think. It's not meant for me to tell you what to do with your life, or whether you go see a therapist or handle your own therapy or whatever. These are things that I try to share from my own experiences of figuring shit out on my own, or not figuring shit on my own, but figuring shit out as I go and listen and learn, and you know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to do. Just one more thing. I watched a recent documentary with I think it was a psychologist that said he's learned way more with that one psychedelic trip than he learned throughout his 20 years of experience of that of psychology, or whatever the fuck he said. So again, just putting that out there. Like, we don't know shit. We think we do, but there's still so much out there. With that being said, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and welcome my guest, Kwadjo, aka Q. That's my daughter in the background, by the way. Peace, enjoy.
What's interesting about Patton Oswalt's discussion about the Matrix is it's one of the two things. Either he says when we get back to normal, there's just two perspectives on that. It's either because what he says he wants to be put back in the Matrix, and he alludes to Cypher's discussion of how Cypher's been out of the Matrix for a various amount of time, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like
Cypher. Who's Cypher? The character.
Cypher is Joe Pantoliano's character. And he's the one that betrays the crew.
That's the bald guy with the stash.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like he makes an interesting discussion in the film that kind of ties into maybe not normalcy, but what does everybody else think about how they feel, think about their situation is like being forced to live in the world of the real and not being in the matrix anymore, so it's a case of, for Cypher versus like our reality of like a lot of us are connected to the internet versus a lot of us are being separated now. And that whole case of like with Cypher, who wants to be put back in the matrix, Patton Oswalt, he says the same thing of like, I want to be put back in. But I think for Patton Oswalt, unlike Cypher, is the case of like, he misses normalcy. He misses being connected to people. He misses that feeling of like normalcy, almost like, not like normalcy as like by everything being what it is, because like, everybody's reality is different. Everyone has different lifestyles, jobs, etc. But it's interesting that like while we're all more or less connected by technology now, I feel like that's more or less what he was saying, versus the latter, where like with Cypher, it's more in kind of like a movie narrative kind of thing. But it does raise that question. Everyone being unplugged wouldn't want to be unplugged. You know what I mean? Because like you ask that question and then you're just given a choice, but you're not able to truly know what that reality is going to be like when you're unplugged. Once you take either the red or the blue pill. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, he's like, why didn't he choose to take the blue pill and be like, no, I want to stay in? You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, that more or less was the thing. So
it's interesting that you have that perspective. It's a different perspective than mine. So that's what you saw from the rant. That's everything you just explained there was.
But I also feel like while he stops at a certain point, there's a whole conversation there, because The Matrix is a film about AI, and while there are other multiple films about AI, The Matrix chooses to handle conversations about AI in a very different way. So I feel like with me, I would like to have an opportunity to piggyback off that, at least with someone who has also seen the film, but bounce ideas about the Matrix in general and where we are now in our state of reality and just that whole thing, because that creates a conversation.
Right. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you are going to talk about this shit, because I've been itching to have a conversation. I talked to my wife about this stuff because we watched The Matrix 2 weeks ago, and then we tried to watch The Matrix 2 Reloaded, right? Matrix Reloaded. And then it just I didn't realize how shitty it was because of the sex scenes, the nonsense that they wanted to include to make it a film. And I was like, wow, they like, I call it, I guess you could call it fillers, when you fill in stuff that does, it's like, what is the point of this? Because me and my wife were just skipping scenes. Like, can we just get to back to the story, please? Because we were like talking about,
I think that was
Neo
a part of the
falling in
story,
love,
though.
and it's part. I get it. It's a movie. Let's talk about Neo and fall in love with Trinity and all that.
Right.
But it's like I'm on a different area of thinking now because of I'm wiser, I guess, or older, whatever. When I was young, I was all into it. I was all about Neo fall in love with Trinity, having sex with her, and like, wow, I wish I was in that position. And like, my mind was different when I was 13 or whatever age I was when I watched that film. But now, in today's, today, currently, I'm on a different state because I'm curious about consciousness. So we can talk a little bit about that too, not too much, because it's a fucking complex thing that I'm learning about in terms of mental health, in terms of the Matrix, how that shit all connects. And that's why I watched the film for the Matrix as a way to pick at it.
Right.
Take what the creators thought of and say, that's fascinating. So that I'm like using all these things and creating my own simulation theory. It's not my simulation theory, but it's a simulation theory that I'm it's like I'm forming my own like Lego blocks, like all these ideas of simulation theory. I grab all these Lego blocks and forming my own tower of like the simulation theory. So we get to talk a little bit about that too. But anyway, going back to Patton Oswalt's rant. From my perspective, when I watched his little rant, he was talking about, the stake and him wanting to get back into, what you discussed. Yeah. But he was saying how I was focused on when he mentioned that the AI, the agents, they were trying to keep humans suppressed inside of the matrix,
Yeah.
or is it oppress? Suppress, whatever the word is. You know what I'm saying.
I think it might be both.
It might be both suppress and oppress. Just basically asleep.
Right.
Not, so to speak.
Right.
Asleep.
Because you don't want the batteries to wake up, because we were used as a battery source.
Why? Why were we used as a battery source? Right.
Yeah. I mean, well, because if I'm not mistaken, it was more or less the solar energy thing.
What? Yeah.
And then they had the whole war, and then we blocked out the sun, and then they created us as a use for like batteries. But then that gets a little funny, which I never thought about, which may be a whole other topic to begin with.
No, that's why I'm talking about it now, because I came up with all this shit in my head watching it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but with us being used as a battery, computers need batteries. You know what I mean? Because like if your battery in your computer dies, then the computer's dead. You know what I mean? Like you can plug it into a wall all you want, but the computer doesn't have a battery, then it's still gonna like shut off. Every computer needs a battery. But it's that whole thing of like being jacked in, and then you can kind of like instantly reload batteries and such. But because the Matrix is this huge, complex computer virtual system that controls the world, I imagine you would need a large amount of batteries in this whole thing. But I think that may be a plot issue for real, because like that may have resulted in the Matrix having more movies, maybe a longer discussion, to be honest, because they don't really explain how the Matrix works, but they just explain what it is.
Yeah, they were kind of vague.
That's the whole that's the whole thing. But that may have been intentional, because the Matrix was based off of Ghost in the Shell, and that's a whole other thing too, which is completely different but very similar. Right.
So going back to the Patton Oswalt rant, he mentioned that humans, the AI said, all right, let's give humans everything desire, everything happy. And they didn't like it, because it just...
What I wanted to say was, I feel like that's not fair to say, almost, because it's like they may be one opinion or one perspective of maybe like a large group of people, but I find it hard to believe that every human on the planet wasn't okay with that, wasn't able to accept reality. Because like when you watch TV or when you play a video game, you're engaged, your attention is focused until something, snaps you out of a trance, so to speak. You know what I mean? Even more so, of like if someone is like hypnotized, you know how you can be put under hypnosis, and until somebody gives you that trigger that they say is going to wake you up, then you're not awake. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a little bit of mysticism there being used, using sci-fi to explain that. But I feel like, at least for me, I remember watching the film and hearing that of like, because Agent Smith was like, when we made this Matrix, no, actually it may not have been Smith, it may have been the architect. He spoke about like the humans, they couldn't handle it because it was too perfect. I think that's a little unfair to say, because I think everyone seeks perfection in their own reality. And, me being someone that has mental health, I don't feel like I have even perfection, even more so being a little broken. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's just too many questions there. And while that's not really a plot hole, maybe they should have taken more time to explain more of that, and maybe even shown, previous examples of the Matrix, to give examples of like, this is why we're the villains, and this is why we're doing this, because the robots are the villains, but they're almost faceless. They're almost just this evil thing of like, oh, they're just bad because, they're just bad and they control us, but we went to war with them because they gained sentience, so like, that's a really interesting conversation that just kind of gets glossed over in the Matrix. And that's just the first film, and they skip all that, with the subsequent films. But that was a missed opportunity in the sequel when the architect goes to explain things a little bit further, so all missed opportunities, in my opinion.
So you mentioned perfection in our own reality, and I had to write that down because you said you think it's not fair that, based on the AI, assuming that everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think you nailed it right there a little bit. You kind of nailed it on the head when you said perfection in our own reality. Now, let's think of 10 people. 10 people in this one space, this one planet. They have the one little area. Everyone's
Yeah.
happy. Let's say the AI created this thing and there's 10 people, right? How many of them do you think have
Mhm.
perfect brains? How many of
would-
them do you think
Mhm.
you say perfection in your
Yeah.
own reality? How many of the 10
Yeah.
do you think all
Yeah.
are in sync with what perfection is? You know what I mean? So
Well,
you think about that. Hold on, I'll finish
Yeah.
up. You think about what perfection is, right? And
Mhm.
this person A thinks this is perfection. This person
Right.
10. I can't count letters.
No, I got you.
You get my point. 1 through 10. The 1 and 10 have different levels of reality of what perfection is. So
Yeah.
now there's conflict there, right? Conflict of
Right.
interest. But there's some others, maybe 5 versus 5. So now there's a tribe
Right.
now. So then it goes into conflict, and boom, they fight. That's how
Right.
I think of human beings when you talk about perfection of a reality, or when you give them all a perfect life worth
Right.
living. You give them everything. They don't have to work for shit. You give them life. Everything is handed to them, and they don't
Right.
like it because something happens that it's either too easy because then they become unhealthy. So it's a complex thing to think about. It's also
Right.
paradoxical, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
But
Paradoxical, I think.
paradoxical, yeah. But I think that I wrote that down because I think of consciousness and our beings. It's a lot of connections that I have to make with this.
Yeah.
But each of us, you have your own issues, right? I have my own issues, right? I am living in a house. I'm renting this house, whatever. I have a family. I'm happy, you know?
Right.
But where was I 6-7 years ago? I was depressed. I was miserable. I wanted to kill myself. I was in the
Right.
basement. My world was upside down, so to speak.
Right.
What happened that shifted into this different world? Now I have to learn things, and I'm so like
Right.
fascinated by life. Everything's different now, right? So I'm just trying to explain the bigger picture, but it's hard to do
Right.
that. But ultimately, perfection in our own reality. That's an interesting thing you bring up, because we all
Yeah.
seek, whether we like to admit it or not. I think
Right.
a lot of us seek perfection in our own reality in a way. It's like we're looking to, well, I gotta fix this because something's wrong with that.
Right.
Something's wrong with that. Let me fix this. We are like, if you think about it, we're like debuggers of life. We're like,
Oh, right.
if you think of
But
like, sorry,
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because, debugging, that connects to like, computer terminology.
yes,
As per the Matrix thing, where it's like you have to defrag your computer, you have to clean up, get rid of the access,
Dude, right. You just gave me
get rid of the access, things that you don't need. Now,
clear the
while
memory
I'm-
space.
While I'm not too familiar with consciousness and meditation, which is something I do want to look into,
We're gonna talk
I am
about.
aware of. I do remember, and it's a separate film, but there's just kind of like advice for achieving, not perfection, but for achieving a specific state, so you can open your mind up for new things and kind of set yourself back in balance. The movie The Last Samurai, when they're trying to teach him about Bushido and Kendo, there's a saying that the guy says to him. He says, "Too many mind. Your mind is too focused on too many things. You have to clear your mind and focus on this." And I know that's similar to like not meditation, but that whole aspect of a meditative state. But even more so of like, he was being taught something and he didn't know how to focus. He had to learn how to focus first and foremost. But even then, you can still have focus and balance in a reality and have perfection, because you have to have the perfect balance of light and dark. You know what I mean? And be okay and content with everything, because then something will happen and set you off balance and you have to reset it again. Like for me, thinking about what you said about like the 10 people, I automatically divided just those 10 people into 5, and then you would go maybe 5 women, 5 men, and both men and women, like I think we all as genders want perfect happiness, so to speak, in our own perspective realities. Like, we want friendship, happiness, wealth, like to not be able to maybe worry, to have a place to stay, to not have to not worry about where your next meal is going to come from, all those kind of things. Like, I think both genders want those same things as well. And I think those, in a way, are kind of like, you know, specific things that needs to be fulfilled so you could have your own perfect reality. You know, you have a roof over your head, a nice bed, maybe it's hard or soft. You know, there's some people that sleep on tatami mats, like the Japanese. It's a flat mat on the floor, but it's still something to sleep on, rather than just like cold, hard concrete, like a homeless person per se. You know what I mean? So, you know, having individual things that fit well into your reality will give you this kind of perfection and balance, so to speak, I think. So I feel like 10 people is definitely a good example, because you can do a lot with 10 people.
There's a lot of variables.
If it's like male or female. Yeah.
Right. So you gave me more ideas. And
right.
You brought up this perfect reality thing I'm stuck on, because from I'm going to tell you right now real fast. I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've been learning more about consciousness. I've been reading up on it. I'm reading books more. I'm doing a lot of shit, man. I'm programming. I'm learning programming language on the computer. I'm doing all these things that I've never done before.
You sound like Batman, but that's good.
It's funny because I have the Joker tattoo, and I consider myself my dark passenger as the Joker.
Later on in the future too. I would love to have a conversation about comic books, because that's a whole another discussion as well.
Let's do that in another podcast so we can keep it separated, or if we have time to do it here, because this seems complex and I like this.
Right.
And this is like a whole episode. So you talked about perfect reality, and I don't think we're ever going to reach perfection, right? Perfection doesn't exist. It's a lot of things that we have to learn to understand about illusions, and we tend to fall for them. But we have to also understand that we continue to seek perfection because we want to continue to improve in our lives. You, in your current state, you want to improve. You have a long list, probably. Whatever list. I have a long list.
I do. It's a very long list. We all have a list, things are being added to it now.
So how do you fix those things? You have to really put your focus into those things, right? So it takes work. It takes hard. It takes, depending on where you are. Everyone's cards are dealt differently. I was handed my cards. You were handed your cards. I was born in North Philly in the hood, and I was a minority around an area where I thought it was only my world, where it was majority. I was the minority, and I was scared as shit, and I thought I was gonna die every day. I thought I was gonna get hurt. I thought I was gonna get hit, punched in the face. I was scared. I was bullied. Whatever. I had a traumatizing life, and on top of that, my home wasn't safe either. It's just it's a long series of bullshit that I've been through that I don't look at it and say, that's the reason why I'm a horrible person. That's the reason why I have a dumb temper and I hate my life. No, I think of it as those were all the horrible experiences, adversity that I faced that made me, or that created this person who I am today. I fought for everything to structure myself into where I am now, because I'm fighting for this perfect reality. But now I know that there is no perfect reality. I don't think
that's true.
No. We can argue about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or debate, whatever the word is.
Right.
But I don't think there's such thing as perfection. But I think there is such thing as what word is it I'm looking for? Like a balance. Let's go with that. I think there's such thing as a balance. There is no such thing as the perfect balance, but there is a such thing as balancing things. Everything is a balance to me, in my opinion. From my perception or my perspective, everything takes a constant balance. It's a constant flow of learning to, oh shit, this is tipping over a little bit. Let me shift that. Over. Like my temper issues, I still have them. They're still with me. I still snap at my kids. I still snap at my wife. Me and my wife argue. Now I have to separate myself from what am I doing? I have to talk to myself and do everything that I've learned to do. Self-talk, all the shit that I've learned about the mind, blah, blah. So I can get a hold of myself, get my shit together, hold myself accountable, and do what I got to do because I'm disciplined. I've learned this. I learned these things to be this way. I've programmed myself to be this way. So this takes it back to the perfect reality. And this goes back to the Matrix. This goes back to what's his name? The bald head guy.
Patton Oswalt and Cypher.
Cypher. This goes back to Cypher hating his reality of of being outside of Matrix because he realized how shitty it is. This is a horrible life. What am I doing? Fighting against robots. I want to go back into wanting to eat steak again. Can I go back over there and taste that fucking delicious steak and give me $1 million where I'm at? Because I want to live in there. Fucking make me forget about the real thing because I don't want to know the real thing. That is an interesting thing that grabbed a hold of me that made me think about, holy shit. So this life that we live currently. Yeah. I'm not saying that I believe 100%. I don't 100% believe in this, but I'm in the realm of thinking, is this a simulation? Okay, let's keep pondering over it. Let me gather evidence. Right. Let me just play with it. A lot of people would immediately just shut the shit down. This is not a simulation. Poke yourself with a pen. What happens? You bleed, motherfucker. Can you pick something up? Can you drink it? Right. You can taste it. But in the Matrix, you could do the same thing. In this Matrix world, you could do everything that is reality. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because the AI created the illusion of a perfect reality. Right. But it isn't perfect, though. It's your version of perfection.
Well, I think what's interesting is that while they don't say this about the current version of the Matrix, based on the film we're watching, which is I believe the 6th version of the Matrix, they say, what's interesting is that they created glitches and imperfections to simulate real life, real reality, rather than if you had previous versions that were all perfect and maybe everyone could fly and all that kind of stuff. That's a very different thing because it's like, you could almost maybe say people shouldn't be unhappy for anything bad happening. All food should probably taste good. Maybe you wouldn't even get sick or anything because at the end of the day, you're being used as a battery source while being put under this, illusion placebo thing. So like, I think that's a really weird thing to say versus like, perfection definitely does not exist, but being jacked into the Matrix and you're being used as a battery source, and that's unbeknownst to you because you're just already jacked in. You don't really have a say or choice in the matter, and you're just proceeding as normal rather than Cypher being taken out and given that perspective to go, oh, this is where I was, and now I have a choice, but I can't take it back. Kind of, you know what I mean? Well, it's like, not that I have a choice, but he realized that he made the choice, and it's like, oh, I knew I couldn't take this back, but like now I regret that. You know what I mean? Because like you can have regret in life, but like that's a really weird question because like I'm willing to believe that with the previous Matrixes versus if they may even say the first 5 versions may even had the one. If everyone still kind of had this perfect semblance, this perfect reality where everything was just perfect, I have a hard time believing that it just didn't work out for people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that's weird because computers have to reset, and we're talking about AI and computers, then that would mean that every time the Matrix reached its end, its clock, like when your computer dies or it reaches its end, then it's just done. So like maybe that's a weird thing, plot hole related, but I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean? Because Cypher's one of those guys that if he had it his way, he would choose to renege and go, no, pick me back. Me personally, I don't know. I would probably, may not want to go back in, but that's just different. I mean, it's like, and I'm not Cypher, and I have a different kind of psychology. Cypher is very, very selfish. He should have talked it over with the crew or whatever. Even if there's no way to go back in, least you can do is go like, look, this is not working for me. Something else needs to be done about this rather than like, oh no, this storyline is going however it is. And Morpheus is like, I'm jacking you out. And, I'm telling you have a choice, knowing damn well that like you can't go back in if you want to, but it is what it is. So it is kind of this weird thing of like, that's a looseness of the plot. But I think that may just have to be a thing because it's just a movie where you won't really have those intricacies where it's like a perfect sci-fi story, I guess. So that's a little wonky, I think, to be honest. Yeah.
I wanted to go back real fast to Patton Oswalt so I can get that out of my head because it's still like, hey, you gotta talk about this. I forgot. because we're going into, we went far and then we're coming back. We went far. I like what we're doing. It's fine. But Patton Oswalt, real fast, so I can get this out of my head. His point, I interpreted it as, and it gave me oh yeah, I didn't think about that. The movie overall, is AI helping humans save the planet, because the humans created the AI to save the planet, to be a part of it, because humans were fucking up the planet. Think about what we're doing now. What are we doing in reality? What is the global warming? I mean, what is it called?
It's global warming and
everything else that the name is, the science, everything that science says, the shit that's in the air, how we're fucking up the system, blah blah blah. We're fucking creating space trash. We're doing so much damage. We're killing animals. We're doing so much to fuck up nature, right? The planet itself is a beautiful thing, right? We can all agree. I think everyone can admit that. It's a beautiful fucking planet. It gives us everything. I used to think when I was younger, 21, 22-ish and whatever, I had this philosophy, or not philosophy, I had this belief that the planet was God. Everyone is saying, God we trust. Oh, the heavens and God and religion. I used to be religious when I was 15, 14. I used to be a Baptist or Pentecostal. I used to go different, and then I stopped believing that shit because I realized, oh, there's a lot of people just writing books and just making you think shit. Yeah. Anyway.
That's a whole nother
it's a whole different conversation. I don't like to talk about religion and politics too much because I don't like people have their beliefs and they go hard in their beliefs. But anyway, so back to the planet thing. I used to think the planet was God, right?
Right.
We're stepping on Earth. Earth gives us life. Earth provides for us. It gives us trees to clean the air. It gives us water to take care of our body. It gives us nutrients that we help grow it. The sun comes out. It helps the planet do its thing. Yeah. You know, how everything works. It's fascinating, dog. Right. Yet we go back into the mind of a human being and their own reality. Different individuals. Me, I'm a different person. I have a different perspective in life, right? You have a different perspective. When we discuss these things, we may share perspectives. We may see things differently. You may think, I didn't think of it that way. And it may change your perception of reality, whatever. But the whole point is, everyone else who isn't involved with this conversation, who's in their own head thinking, like this coronavirus. Oh, I gotta wear a mask. I'm scared. Yeah. Oh, let me throw this mask on the fucking floor. Oh, fuck this fucking gloves that I have. I was just wiping my face all over, and I was all over ShopRite touching everything and touching apples and shit and giving everyone else whatever the fuck that was on those gloves. Yeah. Fuck that. Now I'm going to throw it on the floor. Trash. On a planet, on a beautiful planet. The mask and the gloves, mind you, were made by what? Objects that was taken from the planet, right?
Right.
I look at all these things, dude, and it just makes me think that we forget about our planet. So going back to Patton Oswalt's thing, our rant, the way I looked at it is AI were just, in the movie The Matrix, AI was just trying to help human beings live in a different reality so that the actual reality, the planet, can be saved because the humans ruined it. They fucked it up. So the humans, we're doing that now. Humans are making AI. We're making artificial intelligence. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Either we're going to do it and then it's going to go right back into creating virtual reality. Look at virtual reality now, dude. Like, I'm putting all this shit together and it's like, we're like going into the cycle of this Matrix world. Like, what are we doing? Okay, I guess. But so my whole point is to all that AI helping humans save planet, humans build AI save planet, is that right there is why I like simulation theory. Right. Whether it's real, true, or not, it doesn't matter to me. I am what's his name? Cypher. I am Cypher, but the good kind of Cypher, I guess. I am the Cypher that says, dudes, wake up, appreciate the planet, appreciate where you are, learn, live. Your life isn't perfect. Sure, I get it. There's no such thing as perfect. Get rid of that. Learn to build your life. Become that computer. You talked about the computer. We talked about debugging, right? Yeah. And you brought up the defragmentation. I wrote stuff down like clear your memory space, empty your trash bin, change your defective parts. Pretend that you're a computer. What would you do when you manage a computer? Right?
Right.
So let me.
I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna wrap this up real fast, so, cause I know I'm talking too much. But
No. You brought up some great points, and I wanted to follow up.
yeah.
But,
So
yeah.
one more thing, so and then you can follow up.
Mhm.
My whole point to it is that
Mhm.
the reason why I like simulation theory is because it
Yeah.
teaches me to appreciate the now, where I'm at.
Right.
Right. I love my daughter. I get emotional when I think about it, how much I love her. She's sleeping right now. She was playing Spider-Man.
Nice.
Spider-Man's just on. He's sitting there chilling. His little simulation. Anyway, my wife. I love my wife and our kids. I should say. I love our kids. We have 3 kids. Whatever. You get my point.
Right.
I have stepkids, but they're my kids. Whatever. They can go move on. So I appreciate my life, right?
Yeah.
And I think of the simulation theory as something that I can look at like, damn, even if I was in a simulation, I have to learn how to hijack the simulation.
Right.
To make it
I get what you're saying.
my to make my reality perfect. It's not ever going to be perfect, but it needs to at least be somewhere where you know what? I love this fucking simulation. This simulation is fucking fantastic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of falling into a trap.
Yeah.
Which we can discuss later, but that was my point. How I got from that movie, because of Patton Oswalt rant.
What's interesting in you saying that, it's a thing of like, also with computers, more so with the Matrix thing, which could be connected. When you buy your computer, it comes with a user manual. As with life, you don't have a user manual, but there are rules and I guess like maybe ways of life that people have written, that have worked out for people in a way, like, what's the word? Like learning how to survive, you know what I mean? Or any of those kind of things. But like there are manuals for things, but there's no manual on life. And you having to have experiences and maybe getting guidance from someone would have to enlighten you, or kind of like, fill in the gaps of information that you don't have, or you have to learn something new. Now you can also add new things to your computer, more like more memory, like how they say where maybe that's not the same thing. Like when you learn something, you get a wrinkle, but even more so, like you can expand your mind, you can expand, your knowledge of what you know. You can always learn new things, and you can always add more memory to a computer. So that maybe, I think, actually is the same thing. But again, computers have manuals. We don't. But again, it's like, if I have a certain kind of conversation with you, I can hopefully learn something from you during the conversation and gain knowledge, gain something new. Because we all can kind of be pretty much computers in a way, if you want to look at it that way. Even more so of like creating your own perfect reality. Because like, I know for me, like I'm struggling with certain things, and I may need to reach out to someone. I'm having trouble with this. What do you think about this? And then they, whatever feedback I get, I may learn something from that conversation, and then I will be much better for that conversation, because I would have added new information, just like you can add new information to a computer versus new memory, versus how computers have manuals though, but we don't. So that is really interesting that you worded it that you said, as far as like how your reality is and how comfortable you are and how happy you are, but also you have learned experience, and that's kind of like your manual. You yourself kind of built your own manual, because everyone's life is very, very different. Everybody's shoes are different. Everybody has different parentage, heritages, religions, whatever. And once you reach a certain age, then that's a different thing. But of course, we're organic. We're not sentient. We're not sentient computers. So that's what makes us ultimately different, opposite the AI in the Matrix, which makes the conversation a little bit more complicated though. Because even if you say, oh, the Matrix, we gave you humans perfection, we're organic. Our brains are different, rather than like a non-organic brain in a sentient computer that just has like, learning AI. It's very, very different. Because in a way, I think while AI is supposedly like a thing, it's more sci-fi than anything else, because like computer chips aren't perfect. You can definitely have like learning computers, but they're only programmed to a certain capacity, because like, but our brains, can evolve past a certain capacity. So that's where it gets really interesting too. But you also may have two different conversations.
Yeah, that's fine. So you mentioned something I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
You brought up a user manual, and I wrote shit ton of notes because you said that. It's funny how you have all these things you mentioned. I'm like, oh, and it's just something clicks, and I write shit down. This is the most I've ever written notes. Look how I don't know if you can see this, but
wow.
I don't know if you can see all those.
Yeah,
I can see it. I'm already cluttering my notes space.
Yeah, but that's cool. At least you write notes up. I need to get better at that kind of
This
stuff.
is the most I've ever written this is the most I've ever written in a podcast. But anyway, so you said that computers, everything comes with a user manual. Everything, even video games, they come with a user manual to teach you how to use the damn thing. Because not a lot of people are what is the word? Literate to figure it out. I never read those things, user manuals, until that's just like completely like, what the fuck are these buttons? What do they do? Let's press it. Oh, I maybe shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so user manuals. We do have a user manual. For us, we do.
Right.
It's a hidden user manual. It's a manual we have to unlock. We have to learn how to see it.
Right.
You said that we don't come with user manual. Our user manual, you brought it up though. You said that some guidance from someone else can give us that somewhat of a user manual. But philosophy, if you know about philosophy, you know that is one user manual.
Right.
If you look at the words, let's go with fucking religion.
Yeah.
Religion can be used as a user manual.
I agree.
Right? All these books, these Bibles, they were created by humans. It wasn't created by God or Jesus or whatever.
Yeah.
That I know of. I'm just going to say that I know of. I don't believe in it, but that's whoever
But
wants
to be
believe.
fair, and while that could be a later thing, what's interesting is that particular book has a date on it, but it shouldn't. So that's a whole nother thing.
So I look at Bibles and religions and anything as information, knowledge, books. All these books were written by somebody, right?
Right.
Nothing magically appeared unless it did. I don't know what magically appeared, but all these books and information that help us learn about life is philosophy. What is philosophy? Philosophy is just shared experiences from another individual that said, this is how I figure something out to make work for me. So this is what this podcast is all about. It's about sharing philosophy of others, sharing perspective, sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge, things to help you take care of your mental health and your physical health. So that's why I bring martial artists on this thing. I try to bring people that I feel like understand things. Even you even have some type of philosophy I'm pretty sure you could share. You have your own mental issues that you deal with that I would love for you, if you didn't mind, of course, to share with the world, to show that they're not alone, right? I went through my own bullshit, so I can be I can relate to you in a way. You know what I mean? So experience, that's the second one.
We also did meet in a common interest back in the day, though. Right. You and I both met in school pursuing arts.
Yeah, we were pursuing something interesting as far as acting and doing something that I wasn't comfortable with. I didn't want to act with other people. I was scared as fuck, but I did it. I don't know why. I just did it because I wanted to be an actor. I thought, I want to be a director. I want to make movies. But I got to be around these people. Fuck. I got to learn. Fuck it. I did what I did.
Yeah.
Somehow ambition carried me there. But anyway, experience is the main user manual, I think. Right. So experience is everything, and adversity that you face, struggles, the good stuff that you face, the good things that you learn. It's all, what do we do when we learn all these things? Why do we learn these things? It's to survive. That is okay, I'm going deeper into this real fast. I was talking to my wife recently about this. Yeah. I think ultimately we exist as human beings to spread our virus, so to speak. We are a virus. Right. You look at it that way. You look at all these microorganisms. We have microorganisms within us that control us. There are some gut biome. Do you know about the gut biome? How good bacteria and bad bacteria fight, and then if you are shitty, if you eat a lot of shitty foods, dude, this is a lot of information, man. If you eat shitty foods, McDonald's, all the bullshit, you're feeding your gut shitty food. Your bad bacteria is going to win against your good bacteria, which is going to cause an imbalance in your thinking.
I agree. I know what you mean on that. As far as like eating like brain foods, like
anything
certain
that
foods that are considered to be like good for your brain, like seafood, as I understand.
Yeah, there's like you can name a lot of
Yeah.
foods that's good for your brain. You can name a lot of foods that's bad for your brain. But my point is that they fucking your gut has a portion of control of your mind. What the fuck? I didn't know that.
It works in one whole thing.
Your whole body is a system
that does make us a little bit different than what per se like you know, like well, we're like, because we're organic and AI isn't organic. You know what I mean? So that's what ultimately does make us different, though.
Yeah,
it makes the conversation a little bit complicated as well.
This is that's why everything is hard as fuck to talk about these things.
I agree.
We are not scientists. Me and you, we're not professionals. We're not experts. But I don't know what you consider yourself as. I consider myself as a philosopher, a thinker, a person who is interested and curious about all these things. I consider myself a scientist of myself. I'm not a scientist of the world. I am a scientist of myself. I came up with my own little philosophy that
that's interesting. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, in order for you to take care of yourself, you need to be a scientist of yourself. You need to experiment with things. What works for you, Q? What works for you to make yourself happy? You got to keep figuring shit out. What doesn't work for you? What makes you sad? What makes you depressed? What makes you miserable? You figure that shit out. Oh, this fucking makes me shitty. Why do I feel this way? Okay, I need to not do this again. Like today, I feel like shit. I honestly felt like shit today. Why?
I feel like shit today too.
Because I was drinking alcohol late last night, and I was sleeping, and I ate cereal. I'm not supposed to eat cereal. I know that. I know better than that, but I ate cereal because I gave my daughter cereal. Anyway, long story short, I am aware of things that I do to my body, and when my body is upset at me or it feels like shit, I am to blame. So I need to manage that. So that's how I learned. That's how you are your own scientist, because you can learn from your body, listen to your body, so to speak, and then you act off of that. You write shit down, how it is to make yourself work, to build better habits for yourself so that you can take care of yourself and take care of your fucking mind. So going back into the user manual, we all have different experiences. Me and you can share our experiences. I just shared some earlier with you that you just learned about. I thought, right? Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just saying, because in the podcast I talked about it many times. I talked about me going through suicide, and I talked about how I got myself out of it. Blah blah blah.
Now I've only heard you speak about that briefly, but I think I remember when I did hear that. You know, I kind of kept that in my mind. As me personally being someone that suffers from mental illness, and that's a whole nother conversation, because I never really, like, for me talking about my mental illness, not to segue, I more so talk to a few close friends, family, a few therapists, and that's it. You know, I never really put it out to the world, but I don't mind revealing a few things at least, because information is power, you know.
Now,
but
go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But I do remember when you said that, and I remember just kind of pitting it into the case of, like, I didn't feel alone. I felt much more not alone. You know, not like to say like I want to be more friends with people, be friends with more people that have mental illness. But it's good to know that you're not alone. But it also kind of sucks that you know someone else suffers from mental illness, because I would rather not suffer with it at all. Which is interesting about the Matrix, because if you were jacked into the Matrix, hypothetically speaking, you should be absent of that. You know what I mean? That AI would have you jacked in, and mental illness should not be a thing. Whatever that chemical balance in your brain, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Therefore, you would have perfection in a sense, because, you know, people that, to my knowledge, people that live with mental illness don't want to live with it. You know what I mean? So that's interesting that, you know, that was kind of one of the things where I took away from the Patton Oswalt thing of, like, he said he wanted to be jacked back in and almost kind of be free of some control. You know what I mean? Be free of having to use your brain to kind of give a shit, kind of do things, kind of have to, you know, you do priorities, kind of care, you know, have to remember to set your alarm to get up and go to work, or, you know, take out the trash, or all those kind of things, you know, to kind of give some of your freedom away. You know what I mean? I think that's interesting. I don't know if that's what Patton Oswalt was kind of alluding to somewhat in a way, but that's kind of what ultimately I think would happen, being jacked back into the Matrix, because You're just going to be jacked back in and used as an energy source. Even though us humans do use other people as energy sources, maybe not more so like, I feel like everyone is an energy vampire in some shape or form because we all use each other for various reasons, to talk to people, to bounce ideas off of people, to kind of, you know, to kind of maybe feel happy when you talk to someone, all those kind of things. Everyone is an energy vampire in some way, I feel. So that's a different thing, more so than being jacked back to a computer into a different kind of reality, which is more artificial, rather than your reality is not really artificial. It's more of your perception that's created by your experience and, you know, your environment. So that's a really different thing, which are ultimately two different things, because one is definitely controlled in a built environment that you're placed into, and you have no control over that, rather than you could choose to move away, even if it's hard to move away, or, you know, you may have to wait to move away, or you could remove yourself from a situation, like maybe leave the room if you're having an argument with someone or something like that, or any of those kind of things. So as an organic being, you have choice, whether you realize it or not. Even more so of like, you may subconsciously choose to do something to remove yourself from a situation. So that's a different thing too.
So you brought up a lot of things that I had to write down,
Yeah.
of course. No, it's good. I appreciate that, man. These are great ideas to go over.
Yeah.
So real fast, since the last thing you brought up was the energy vampire thing. I also I agree with you. I think we are sensitive or empathic or whatever the word is. Let's just go with energy vampires. I think we are definitely able to pass on like some type of energy depending on how we feel.
Right.
I don't know the science behind it, but I just feel like I wrote this shit down. Be mindful of what you surround yourself with.
Right.
They always say, I always see this. So I don't like the positive vibe shit. I don't like, always be positive, always do this, and I don't like that shit because there's a lot of fake shit that people do with these mental health coaches.
That doesn't sound too fair, but I'm curious to bounce that off you.
Yeah, we'll talk. I can argue my case. It's not like a big thing. It's just a personal thing that I have a distaste for. Like, again, mental health coaches or life coaches and all these people. There's a lot of people that have intentions to make money, make a profit off of something. They have they want to make money off of the information that they have. You mentioned information is power. So that's what people want to do. They want to wield that power and use it as a way to make resources, to make money, so that they can survive in their own little world, to continue creating their own little perfect reality. So this is why I don't like the people that, not that I don't like the people, but I don't like the concept or the idea that everything has to be positive. But I'll explain to that in a bit. Back to this. Be mindful of what you surround yourself with. That includes your friends, family, your social media that you use. Because if you're around on social media all the time, every day, guess what's going to happen in your mind, man? You're going to be surrounded. You talk about energy vampires. You're not getting energy from people's text or the words, but the shit that you see, the shit that you read, the shit that Facebook feeds you. Facebook is, if you know about Facebook, man, this is why I don't like Facebook anymore. But I get on it because I know I got to promote my shit. I got to do what I got to do to try to wake people up, so to speak. Facebook is made to provide you with things that you like. Right. So to speak. They give you the algorithm of things that you like. Literally, you press the like button. It'll, okay, this human being likes this. Okay, let's give more of that. So if you liked or you were dissatisfied with the cop video killing the black guy or whatever, any kind of video that's negative, I hate that video, or this video is they are going to feed you that constantly. The more you see that, the more your mental health is restrained to that world of thinking, that way of thinking, that this life is crazy, this life is miserable, right? And I'll get into what I'm talking about in what I do with myself. So just be aware of what you're doing when you're around someone who's always negative, or when you're around someone who's always be mindful of you always being on social media, your family members. Like, I have family members that I love. I love my mom. I love my family. I love specific people that I'm not going to name, but I love them. But I know that their way of thinking, their way of life the way of living affects me negatively. So I have to keep my distance, so to speak. I have to make sure that if I use the computer analogy, I have to make sure that I clean up that trash. Not to say that they're trash.
Or you can put them in a folder and compartmentalize it.
Thank you. That's a better one.
Right.
That's a better analogy. You put them in a folder. That's family folder. Let's keep it there.
Right.
And you click on that folder every now and then just to make sure that, you know, you arrange and blah, blah, blah. But you don't, I keep my distance from my family because I have a lot of issues with them. My temper rises within 2 hours if I'm around them because the negativity is high off the charts with what their life is about. So anyway, not that my mom is an evil person. My mom is a wonderful mother in terms of she has a lot of love for me, blah, blah, but just complications that's hard to explain that I have to go on a whole podcast about. But anyway, be mindful what you surround yourself with, because that right there is the energy vampire thing. That is fucking truth, dude. There is people that can affect you negatively. And yourself, that includes you. If you're always negative,
you're right. You can be your own poison.
If you are your own negative energy vampire, you're gonna be your own negative. You're gonna suck your own fucking neck. Like you're gonna grow fangs and kill yourself, so to speak.
Right.
So you're gonna be your own virus in your computer, dude. You're gonna spread that shit. It's gonna spread like a Trojan horse, and you're just gonna have to replace the whole computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I think for us, we're all receiving external energy, external information, and like you said, you can choose to filter that information in or just avoid it altogether. That's like you're saying, separation versus compartmentalization. But what's interesting is that, say if you were put back in the Matrix, you would be absent of all of that, and you would be void. It would be devoid of all of that, versus being taken out of the Matrix and being aware that there's this world that exists that's in a giant illusion. And you have to kind of go back in. Now, actually, that's an interesting thing because, like, even though Cypher hates the reality, hates the real, hates the world, he still has the opportunity to go back into the Matrix for a different reason, but he still has the opportunity to go back in, but it's not being jacked back in through, like, from like the robots putting him back in. He's able to jack in from his own way, but it's controlled. So that's interesting too, though. But to be fair, that also begs the question as to, like, you know, and that may be a different conversation altogether regarding not really a plot hole per se, but like you have to have some kind of conflict. But Morpheus not being aware of everyone's conscious state resulted in his downfall pretty much. I mean, he was able to survive to the end, but he almost died, you know, because he wasn't aware of his surroundings. He didn't, you know, almost like you were saying, like, separate himself. Like, he should have been more careful. Cypher, let me check in with him. How's he doing? Because, like, even if someone is like, hey, I'm okay, I've been out of the Matrix. Nah, check in, follow up. Because, like, you were literally being pulled out of a computer. And I think that takes time to deal with. Now, one thing I will say that when we start the Matrix film, we don't know how long any of those characters were out of the Matrix and how long they've been living with themselves. They've been living with the reality of the real. That's an interesting question too. But by Morpheus not being aware, not being in control of him, not being in control of himself in general versus being in control of his environment, i.e. having a friend and confidant, Cypher, that betrayed him, you know, things blew up in his face. So it's one of those things too, almost like you were saying, where it's like Morpheus didn't have balance and control, and he only had one goal and one focus, and he was blindsided. The Oracle told him he's supposed to find the one, no matter what. So even in spite of him having a relationship with Niobe and that fell apart, whatever, because he used to date Jada Pickett's character, all that stuff's irrelevant. He knew his entire purpose in life was to find the Oracle. I mean, was to find the one, and that's it. And he was willing to risk his life to do that. So he had one goal, and that made his kind of manual in life one page. Your goal is to find the one, and that's it. And then he can close the manual and go about his life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of interesting when I kind of take it back to the whole manual thing, because he was given a manual by the Oracle, who is a computer program, because he has to go back into the computer program to get the manual, because he was jacked out and was like, the hell's going on? You know, I'm not in the Matrix anymore. I have free will, I have free control, but it's like I know this is a computer that exists, and there are other people like me that are still in there. There's got to be something wrong with that. Of course, you go back in, and then, hypothetically speaking, somewhere along the line, he came in contact with the Oracle, and it's like, oh, now I have purpose. You know what I mean? He came in contact with someone in some shape or form, going through life, being a part of the Matrix, and having to go back in and meeting the Oracle. Now he has a straight line purpose. You know what I mean? Like for me, I have a goal that I want to achieve. I'm still working toward that, but I have all these obstacles, all these external things in life or whatever. So I'm still trying to figure out all those things, but I feel like I do have a goal, but the manual that's guiding me to that goal, it's still being written. I'm still having to have external experience, new experience, learn new things to work my own way, to kind of, like you said, find my own balance, get better. I want to learn meditation, all those kind of things. I need to kind of write my own manual versus, receiving external information to kind of write my, make the manual pretty much. So that makes sense.
So you receive the external information, you gather it, and then you apply it, and you figure out what works for you, basically. Like you receive what you...
For me, personally.
Yeah, for what works for you, exactly. Because like I said, with meditation works for me, and it works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for everybody. But it's like for me, the way I look at jiu-jitsu, martial art that I love so much, it's not for everybody, but everybody should try these things. Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai... and meditation. So to bounce off of what you said, you mentioned, because I wrote this down already, jacked in.
Yeah.
You mentioned Morpheus losing focus because on making sure he provided the balance for his crew, because he was so focused on Neo, because the Oracle told him to do that, right? So that's what I don't remember her saying. Okay.
Yeah, the Oracle told him to do it.
Okay. I got a whole thing with that too. My wife, this is we're not gonna talk about this real fast, but my wife, she was questioning so much. Is the Oracle supposed to be fate? Because if there's fate, is fate is reality fate based on fate? And because I told her my beliefs on fate is that we create our own fate, so to speak. I think in my belief is that what we do, every decision that we make leads us to it continues. Like there's the present moment, and then the future is already here, because it's continuous, like onward. The illusion, there is no presence, because it's this constant flow of moving. And
I agree with that.
But it's based on what we do, what we decide to do, what we think of in our heads. We hijack. Well, I'm getting too far, but you get my point. Anyway, I have a different idea of what fate is and blah blah. But the movie seemed to imply that the Oracle knew the fate of Neo, knew the fate of everything already. So it was just that. I mean, we're not going to touch on that.
That's very true. You're absolutely right. I forgot all about that.
So you're
absolutely right.
You mentioned a program. It's like she was the viewer of the whole programming of like, oh, this is going to happen, and this is it. That's it. There's nothing else to this life. She was in charge of that current matrix. So anyway, this ties in with my belief with simulation theory that what scientists have not proved, but they are tinkering about. I heard this from what's his name? He's a astrologist, or is he? Whatever the fuck he is. Black man. He's all about space.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Damn, yeah. He mentioned the multi-universes, and that fucking blew my mind when I heard it. I was like, multi-universes.
I would have to look into that more, because I'm aware of Neil deGrasse Tyson and how smart he is.
Look it up, or look up YouTube multiverses or multi-universes theory, something, I forget. Yeah. But I heard of so much on Joe Rogan's podcast that blew my fucking mind, because it's like, wait a minute, it just added to my simulation theory. But and I'll talk about that later. But let's talk about.
But I did have a quick thought.
Okay.
To follow up. So with the Matrix, what we're alluded to is that while we're watching the film and experiencing this, the Matrix we're watching and experiencing eventually was going to have to come to a point where it was going to have to reset, because it always does. Just like with a computer, you're going to always cut it on and off, but that's different rather than you're cutting it on and off and it's a constant and things are as they are, or are you cutting it on? I mean, are you cutting it off and you're rebooting it, wiping it clean, starting from fresh? So while we're watching that film and we're experiencing a story that's happening with the sixth Matrix, we already know the seventh one is going to happen, and we do eventually see that happen with the end of the film, because the architect goes to the Oracle and is like, you don't think this is gonna last too long, do you? And Oracle's like, yeah, we'll meet again, because the Matrix is going to get reset again. Neo completed his goal to jack in and trigger the reset of the Matrix. That's his goal, because they allude to and say that particular version of the Matrix works that way. You have this anomaly file, this anomaly thing that's in there to give this Matrix the illusion that there's control. And then once it fulfills its entire goal, i.e. creating Smith, that you almost led to believe that that's not by accident, because you have your good files, let me reword it. You know how you have like a Norton antivirus? It's an antivirus program. Neo is kind of sort of that. And then you have Smith, which is the virus program. Smith wouldn't exist without Neo. Smith was already there, but he just kind of took over, reprogrammed. He reprogrammed the program that's creating the virus, and then they have to kind of go back to one, and then it has to reboot all over again. So it's always this kind of, everything was kind of predestined. It was going to happen anyway. That's what's kind of strange, because at the end of that film, they're still in the Matrix. They're still trapped in. There's this computer program that's going to reboot anyway. So that kind of sucks, and it ends on a somber note, to be honest. But that is interesting to tell a story that way, where you're watching these organic people go on this journey just to go back to square one again. Morpheus is going to wake up again and do the same thing all over again. Even if it's not Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, but it's still going to be that Morpheus character or program. So that's kind of different versus our reality, where we have the ability to control our computer program, but it's a different thing, because our external forces are, some external forces are out of control and some are in our control. You know what I mean? Like you said, with your family or whatever, you can put them in folders. You can choose to not pick up a phone call from your friend if they're a toxic person or something like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you have control versus everyone in the Matrix has no control, but they're proceeding as normal as if they have some sort of control. So that's interesting, and that's different as well. And that may actually create a whole different conversation, because while it's fiction, that is specific. That is something that's specifically different, because that is humans that created AI, got into war with AI won, and maintained control over the humans. And then now there's this infinite cycle forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is strange, because computers don't last forever, and they do break down or whatever. Then that's an interesting question too. Now, we are supposed to get a fourth Matrix film. I'm curious about that, because that raised that question. Computers can die, they go bad, they break, and you have to get a new computer. But even more so, the Matrix is a computer program. What do you do with that idea? And hopefully the fourth Matrix film asks that question, but that's interesting as well.
I think that, from my understanding, I'm not a fucking an expert in this, but I just think that we are going to eventually create an AI or whatever, artificial intelligence, that's going to be able to rebuild itself. It's going to be able to reprogram itself. It's going to be so fucking smart that it won't need us. Hence why we are going to become the energy capsules, the battery for the planet, because we, again, our intentions, what is our intentions in creating AI? What is the point of it? Why are we creating AI? It's because we want we're curious about putting our consciousness into their existence, the AI world.
I have a few ideas
about curious
that, by the way, to follow up.
Yeah, let me finish up with this one too. I just want to run on that idea. Basically, we're creating technology to help us live better lives. Yeah. And we're eventually going to create this technology that's going to help us save the planet, I think, because I think we're fucking up the planet for a lot of reasons. I included. I'm driving a vehicle every day, so I'm part of it. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I still do shit that you're running on energy right now. The electric, I don't know if it's fucking up the planet by doing this, but technically, so to speak, I'm a human being that's a part of this problem. I'm a virus. That's how I look at it. But besides the point, I wanted to say this real fast. So it was one day I was watching the film The Matrix. I watched the film maybe 5 times in my life, the first one, because I watched it with different people. My wife recently. Neo, I don't know if you noticed. This is so stupid. I don't know if you noticed his name is spelled one.
Yeah, it's an anagram.
We're looking for the one, and he's Neo. Yeah. He's the one. Whatever. It's just a stupid thing. I had to write that down because I wrote it down. Right. Morpheus was focused in Neo, and then I put the one, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a nanogram, whatever. It's he was focused on him so much that he lost focus on his crew, which led to one of his crew members causing a fuck up and a glitch in the system of them trying to do something. So that is, I look at that right there. That is, of course, it's a plot in the film so that it can cause the second act drama. Or whatever, a drama, blah, blah, blah.
Or propel the plot, like you said.
Yeah. Propel it to where it wanted to cause an issue with Morpheus so that Neo can save him, blah, blah. You look at that, right? You take that, you pinpoint it, and, put it underneath a microscope, and then you look at how he made a mistake because he was so focused on one thing, and he lost touch with the other. That's life right there. That's a metaphor for how we can apply that to our lives. Like me, my priority is always my family, and myself. First of all, my priority is myself. I had to learn that. My priority is myself. I need to survive so that I can take care of my family. So my family comes next. My immediate family in my household.
I agree.
So I need to take care of my wife. I need to provide. I need to be there for her. I need to, be there for my daughter. She trusts me to raise her, to protect her from the evil that's out there, to protect her from the nonsense. Right. I'm also doing things for myself because mentally speaking, I have issues that I have to take care of.
Right.
There's a lot of issues I don't tell people, but there's issues that I do because you said information is power, which is I want to ask you a question, but real fast. Let me because I have these 2 points, but I just want to like put this to the side. You mentioned that they were jacked in, and you said that they should be clear of emotions. Is that what you were saying? Or
okay, you should be absent of your perceived reality.
You can learn to do that with meditation.
Right.
You can learn to see that emotion drives us, or it doesn't. You can learn about emotion that it is a part of our programming for us to understand what our emotions are. I love that because when I meditate, thoughts come up, and people don't meditate because it's hard. It's difficult. If you try to meditate for 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, I'm thinking too much. God damn it! I can't. I'm supposed to focus on something. I can't focus. I can't think. I can't meditate. Fuck." And you don't meditate. You give up because it's hard. So real fast. So you can learn about meditation real fast. If you didn't hear this already, this is a perfect analogy someone made, or whatever, a metaphor. That meditation is just like working out. You work out at the gym, you trying to work up your biceps. Oh, you have to do this side too. You have to do 10 reps of that right here. Oh shit, you got to eat right in the kitchen to make sure that your muscles get enough, whatever. There's a lot of fucking shit that you got to learn about so that you can grow some strong muscles, whatever, if you want to be big. But if you just want to be strong, just enough so that you're able to pick things up that weighs 80 pounds and not struggle like, you're a man, you're able to do these things. You could just do some push-ups. You can learn how to do that. And then you're able to lift up that thing and impress whoever, impress yourself, whatever. But the point is, you have to learn how to meditate the same way.
Right.
You have to
That
do
is very
it.
true.
You have to practice meditation. Now, meditation is hard because everyone is different. Everyone else has a different issue. Your way of thinking could be one of your limitations of how it affects the way you meditate. So if you are scared of your thoughts, if you're scared of these things, or if you're scared to face them, or your anxiety is building up and it's fucking you up, just know that you can just step out of it and open your eyes and just let me take a breather.
Right.
And you realize that, I'm not trapped in a fucking trunk and someone's behind someone's trunk and dying from this shit. I'm not dying. I'm not in water drowning. So I can open my eyes. I'm good again. All right. Let me try again. That is meditation. When you keep doing it, right? Mindfulness meditation. There's different kind of meditations, by the way.
I'm aware, and that makes it even way more complicated.
But let me just tell you what I practice. There's different names for it, but I just call it mindfulness meditation. And
Yeah.
all you're doing is learning to be mindful
Okay.
of each emotion that comes with your practice. And when you go into your meditation, I practice meditation. I now the way I do it now is I sit down on my mats here. These mats, I fold them.
Yeah.
I put one in the back and I put one underneath me, so I'm comfortable. But it's not too comfortable when I'm falling asleep, because I have issues with that. Anyway,
Yeah.
when I meditate for 10 minutes, guided. So a guided
Right.
meditation is with someone speaking me through the process.
Right. I tried that once with my therapist. It was interesting.
Yeah, everyone is
It
different.
wasn't very successful, but it was kind of a learning experience anyway. So.
Yeah, everything's a learning experience. I don't know how knowledgeable your therapist is, but everyone has different range of practices. Everyone has different experiences. So what I can tell you, Q, is you can try 2 different apps that I tried that I love. Headspace and Sam Harris's Waking Up app. Now,
okay, yeah, you'll have to. You'll probably
I'll send you
me a
both
text
of
or
those
something.
links. I'll send you both of those links. I promise you, dude. If you, no, I don't want to say I promise you. I want you to just test it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I need the help, to be honest.
I can help
There's
you.
a lot going on.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. I offer help to everybody,
Yeah.
dude. I offered help to you before. I offer help to everybody, and this is the problem with everybody. And this is the problem that I had to understand myself. So there's a little metaphor that I've read. Someone sent me a couple pages from this book about understanding the mind. Blah blah blah. There's a fog. There's a fog of smoke or fog. Let's say there's a fog right there. There's a foggy cloud in your face.
Yeah.
That is your sleeping state of mind. That
Right.
fog is your life. Your miserableness, the complications, the stresses in your life, everything you hate, everything that you desire, everything that's good, and everything that's whatever. That's right there. When you meditate and when you learn to understand these things, it disappears. It vanishes. It disintegrates.
Right.
Disintegrates. That's what I was looking for, that word. And then you see things. You're like, holy shit. It's kind of like being awake from the Matrix. So
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm at this state now. I've been practicing since when I was going through my suicide shit, 7 years ago, whatever. I forget. I lost count, but I've been trying to practice meditation. That's how I learned how to get out of suicidal state of mind. I had to learn how to face that shit. I was scared of it, and then I learned I'm scared of it. Oh, the way I learned from acting, I was scared to act.
Yeah.
I need to face this shit. So I used to meditate and deal with my thoughts, but I did it my own way because I didn't know about guided meditation. They didn't have these apps.
Yeah.
But now I learned with meditation, mindfulness meditation, that this shit disappears, disintegrates. And what I feel is what I feel. Whatever I feel in the moment is in the moment. It's the process of emotion. All these things I'm learning, like, this is just me being a human being. And let's go back to the computer analogy. I'm just a computer, and I just have to learn these things. I have to learn how to declutter my mind. I have to learn how to defragmentation. I have to learn how to clean out the recycle bin, organize my folders to put my family there, blah, blah, blah. I have to learn all these things. Oh, shit. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what meditation did for me. It brought me into this clarity of life that helped me understand things better so that I can do what I'm doing to you, is giving you this information so that you can learn it if you choose to. But the problem is, again, going back to this foggy clutter, it's blocking you from listening to me. It's blocking you from hearing me or seeing what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because you can hear me, obviously you can hear me, understand me. You're probably I'm probably making sense, whatever. But
that's interesting.
Once you get back to your life,
I kind of have an idea with that too.
Once this podcast ends, you're gonna go back to your life. That fog is probably gonna come right back up in there.
Yeah.
And then you're fucking lost again. And this is why we, as human beings, I don't look at you like you're black. I don't look at you like if you're Asian, or I don't care. I want to help you. And you want help? If you want help, I'm here. I only want to help because I understand what I understand. I'm not saying I'm going to change your life, but I'm saying what I found to work for me may be something that you can try out that may work for you. Maybe.
Right.
So this is why you go to your therapist, because your therapist is a professional expert. You go to a psychologist because they all study for that shit. They all do their own thing. And I wish I could have done that, but I don't like school. So I'm my own therapist, so to speak. I've learned to do all these things to try to do everything that I'm doing here so that I don't have to go to school. Like, if someone wants to trust me and listen to me and just try these things out for themselves, maybe, just maybe, I might be able to help, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, that cloud. Think of that cloud. Whenever you go, but when this podcast ends, it's gonna be in your
Yeah.
way, dude. You gotta learn how to like. All right, I understand that's there, and let me just try this app. I gotta do it. You
Yeah.
gotta do it. Okay, it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I got questions. Hit me up. Hit me up. I'm here for you, man.
Yeah.
Text me. I got questions. I don't understand it. I went through it, man.
Yeah.
I've been doing this shit for 2 years now with Headspace 1 year, and now the Sam Harris app is
Right.
half a year. And now I'm like, holy fuck, dude, this should be for everybody. But it's just sad because everyone has their own reality that they face.
I agree. A couple things. So
sorry, that was a long ass rant.
No, that's fine. Social media. I have a few platforms that I'm on. None that they're all personal. Like I do have a YouTube thing, but I don't control it at the moment. I do have Facebook. I do have Twitter. I do have Instagram. And each of those individual social medias, they all serve the same purpose, but they all allow me to communicate and receive information differently. Like I spoke to one friend about how I feel the most normal on Twitter, but less people know me on Twitter. But I'm the most normal, which is strange, versus more people know me on Facebook versus Instagram, but I feel less normal on Instagram versus a little bit more normal on Facebook. But I know way more people on Facebook, but they all serve a purpose. And they all allow me to communicate a certain way as well. But that's a whole nother conversation because each platform allows you to receive different kinds of information as well. Like you'll get more access to music content, all those kind of things through Instagram versus like Twitter versus Facebook. Even though for example, like I follow a lot of celebrities and stuff, and some celebrities are musicians. They share their music on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And depending on which social media they choose to use, by me following that person, if they choose to use Facebook this day or Instagram this day, it still serves a purpose. But there's a good and bad for social media as well. So I have to be very, very careful, like you said, with how I'm receiving my information, but they all serve different purposes. And I try my best to use them to my advantage versus getting caught up and going, all right, I got to run away from Facebook right now because there's too much stuff going on. You know what I mean? So like, it's hard for me to have balance, but social media is good and bad for me. But I will say that social media can maybe actually be bad for people with mental illness or, dealing with mental health if you don't have, if you're not, of a better mind. I feel like I need to be stronger, to be honest, but I'm at an okay state where social media is not as bad for me as it could be. So that's a very strange thing.
Let's go over that real fast. But unless if you want to continue,
I'm trying to remember the other thing was because it was about the Matrix. I guess one other thing I wanted to talk about with the Matrix is that. So because you spoke a little bit about meditation and the veil or the cloud, right? What's interesting is that, and maybe hoping this connects to the entire conversation overall. Our reality could essentially be a matrix per se, but because we're more or less organic and definitely not in sci-fi, we can choose to jack ourselves in and out of the matrix, like to jack into reality, to go on Facebook, thus going into the matrix. You know what I mean? Or if you're watching YouTube, if you're watching a movie, your imagination, your focus, you can choose to inject yourself instantly. It may be harder with social media because that's more personal rather than like a movie that's an entertainment thing, because that's more objective entertainment and external information that you're receiving. So that's different too. But for you, what it sounds like is that by you having meditation experience and all that stuff, you have the ability and to also and a skill to be aware and the ability to jack yourself in and out of the matrix. So in a way, you could say we do have a matrix reality, but we don't. And that's interesting as well, versus to how Patton Oswalt says, oh, I want to be jacked back in. And I don't know, he's a little vague on that, but that is interesting too. And Joe Rogan, to my knowledge, to my recollection, didn't really chime in on that too much. He was more or less just receiving that information.
That's what he usually does when he doesn't.
Yeah, but I would love to hear Joe Rogan's thoughts on that as well. But it is interesting that Patton Oswalt did say it that way versus how I perceived it, versus how you perceive it, versus just my entire thing going back to the Matrix.
Yeah, Joe Rogan usually tries to joke, or he
right.
He I look at him the way I look at myself. It depends on his mood.
Yeah.
If he's high, because he usually gets high.
Yeah.
If he's not high, he's gonna go this other way. So we have a different.
But that's
way
a different
of
conversation too, though, right?
What?
That I'm sorry, just to follow up with Joe Rogan being under the influence and his brain being more open, that should give the ability to be more receiving and to be able to maybe give more deeper feedback or whatever. But his brain is still more open, if you can because he's under the influence, but the influence is supposed to open your brain, as per, like, I'm aware that certain musicians use influence like marijuana to expand their brain, to open their brain up to external stimuli, to be more open. So that could actually be actually more helpful as per doing a podcast in Joe Rogan's perspective versus to how he was actually more on the receiving end when he was listening to Patton Oswalt just kind of describe the corona situation, just the reality situation, just versus to how he was communicating with Joe Rogan and doing the podcast rather than being in the studio and not really having to go, like, he had to talk to him through a camera, which is kind of a Matrix thing, rather than being in the studio and in each other's personal space. So that's interesting too.
So that's a good point you just made there. He was also, like you just said, I forgot that he was talking through him the way we're doing it. So
yes,
the personal space, you being in front of me, is different. It's because we're sharing different energies than we are compared to now. There's very minimum. There's a limitation with our energy being shared because of we have this fucking computer here, but. That's a fascinating thing to think about. But anyway, I totally get your point. It's all he didn't respond to it basically the way you would want it to. I wanted him to do the same thing. I love it when he talks about simulation theory because I'm always trying to who else can talk about this shit. But not a lot of people like to talk about it because they're scared to. There's a lot of insecurities and is involved.
I'm interested, but I also would like to maybe give you an idea. But I know it would be required to maybe do a little bit of homework. But I think the Matrix is a good starting point, again, because it's the Matrix was created from inspiration of Ghost in the Shell. We had a live action movie of Ghost in the Shell, but you also have other storylines that talk about Ghost in the Shell in different media formats, and it's a different ball game as well, all based around existentialism and just that whole thing of simulations theory and just us becoming more like robots, even more like how we communicate with the phone rather than talking to each other or having like a Bluetooth and all those kind of things. I think that's all connected. But I wonder if more like a deeper conversation about not only the Matrix, but Ghost in the Shell could maybe open that up a little bit more, to be honest, because I feel like there's more there, because that was the whole point about the Matrix. The Wachowskis went to Hollywood and was like, we want to do a Ghost in the Shell movie. And they were like, hell no. And they were like, all right, well, let's just do this instead. And that's great because, they were inspired by one thing that tells a different story, but it's a similar story. Yeah. It all talks about this whole AI, computer, reality, simulation theory. It has that entire conversation, but we wind up getting a new story based off of, a similar discussion pretty much, or just a discussion in general, like, reality.
Right. I have to watch, honestly, Ghost in the Shell. That's a series, right? Yeah.
Well, there's several series, there's several animes, there's 2 animated movies, and then there's 1 live action film. So it's a lot. But
what can you recommend for me to watch so that I can actually watch the one that makes?
I would say both movies, the live action film and the animated first film, Ghost in the Shell.
I'll watch that one then. So I'll watch that one, the next one too.
Yeah.
Are they both similar, or do they change something?
They are. They're very, very similar. They both follow almost the same storyline, but
what's the better one?
Now that's where it gets interesting. I feel like they're both. I feel like they're both equal because I'm the weird guy when it comes to discussing that film and this entire discussion about what they call the ghost in the shell, which is kind of the same thing as which is actually the same thing as saying the Matrix. That's almost like a synonym, so to speak. The Matrix is essentially being a ghost in the shell because you're this organic being and you're being put into a computer program. And with Ghost in the Shell, your soul is in this robot. It's being put in the shell. So there's this conversation that's taking place the same way, just a different way. You know what I mean? So
the film,
yeah.
So the live, I guess watch both. That's what you're saying.
But I also feel like
I just want to watch one for now.
Yeah, if you watch either of the films, you'll maybe have a little bit more of an understanding from where I'm coming from versus me just kind of presenting something new that I feel like that's of the same subject matter. Yeah. But I feel like they're all in the same thing because Ghost in the Shell. I'm sorry, because The Matrix was written from inspiration of Ghost in the Shell because it is this great story that talks about reality.
Where did the Ghost in the Shell originate? From a manga?
It was from the manga first.
So the manga has the original story.
Yes.
So I should read the manga and not watch. I can watch the movie, but
I have not read the manga, and what's interesting is that a lot of fans claim that while they like the manga, the movie does a better job on existentialism and reality and all that stuff. And I beg to differ because I feel like the original artist and creator, that's what it is. And then you can have your own interpretation.
It's more information.
And the movie, the animated movie is a reinterpretation.
Right.
Of that.
They're cutting out a lot.
Right. But it's also a different discussion. It's a different take on it. Right. Just like when we have movie adaptations based off of books, sometimes you may have a one-to-one and the Ghost in the Shell animated film is not a one-to-one. It takes ideas and the philosophy from the manga and it tells it tells a different story, but it tells the same story in a somewhat different way, giving you a different perspective. But what's interesting is that when you read a manga, it's more personal. You're reading a book, you're touching the pages. It's all into your imagination because, like, you know, how you have the voices in your head for the characters, all these things. But when you're watching anime, there's moving pictures, there's an animation, there's a soundtrack, there's all these things, there's voices to those characters. That's a completely different experience. And it's interesting that fans have this argument of like, oh, no, the anime is better. And it's like,
that's all subjective shit,
the
man.
Anime, I know, but it's interesting that I feel like just the subject matter itself of the Ghost in the Shell has a story there. But it's a little bit easier just to at least go from the movies because the manga is a different thing. I don't know how many volumes and all that other stuff, but I would love to read the manga one day. And maybe even if we could have a future podcast, maybe talk about that because I've tried to talk to people about it before, but it becomes way too subjective. Like, oh, well, I like this and I like this more than the other thing. And then it's one of those things, but I feel like there's a discussion there,
that's fine.
Know? So
yeah, I'll watch the animated film and in our future podcast.
And I will rewatch it myself because it's always good to kind of rewatch it and kind of get a different perspective. But it's interesting that the live action film, which is, you know, which fans claim to hate, tells the same story. It is a different ball game, obviously, because, you know, you have live action now, and it's a whole nother thing. But it's interesting though. Yeah. But more specifically, really quickly, that's interesting about the Matrix though is that, and they don't talk about this in the film, but while we're watching the film, you have black characters, white characters, etc. But at the end of the day, when they're all in the Matrix, their race goes away. Their lifestyle, all that stuff goes away. And that kind of what that alludes to back to what I was saying again about like whatever you're dealing with as an organic being, it all should be gone, including your race. So in a way, while the race doesn't matter, or everyone's race of the characters in the film doesn't matter, it is interesting that all those characters are different races. But when you're jacked into the computer, none of that matters. You're just something being used as energy. You know what I mean? Thus the energy vampire thing.
Right. So great point when you said that when you're into the Matrix, you're supposed to be, there's nothing. There's none of that shit.
Right.
So I use that right there and try my best to explain. That's how it feels. Eventually, when you practice enough with meditation, that's what it feels like.
Right. I remember my other thing I wanted to bring up, by the way, now.
Okay. So real fast. there was a bunch of things you brought up, and I wrote things
Yeah.
down. Trying to go over them.
Mhm.
Oh, in regards to plugging in or
Yeah.
so to speak, jacking out of the matrix. You're plugging. It's like, to explain this in another metaphor, analogy, whatever.
Yeah.
You unplug from reality.
Yeah.
You close your eyes, right? You can close your eyes, and you plug in. You take that plug out, so to speak,
Yeah.
and plug it into consciousness, right?
Right.
Because then, when you do that with meditation, you can focus on different things that you couldn't focus on.
Right.
When I meditate, I just started doing this new thing where now I write down what I visually see. Sometimes I see things, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I wrote down I saw a random animated screaming tree. You know, is it called the trunk or the base of the tree?
Right. Yeah. I think that is the it's probably more or less the trunk, maybe.
Whatever
maybe
the fuck that's just called. That brown part.
The middle to the roots, probably. Yeah.
That started screaming, shouting, rah, like energy, and it was like it looked like Dragon Ball Z energy coming out of his mouth.
Wow.
And I was like, what the I saw that in my eye, from my visual, my eyes closed. I'm like, and I was like, you know what? And I was thinking in my head, oh, that's a distraction, because anything you think of is a thought. Anything you start thinking of things, that is a thought. And if you focus on that too much, you start to lose the whole point of the meditation experience. The whole point of meditation is it depends on what you're trying to do. Mindfulness is all about paying attention to the senses in your body, feeling things. You get to a point where you feel nothing. You don't feel your body. You don't even feel your head anymore. You don't feel the shape of your body. You don't feel the shape of your head. You start to feel empty. You start to feel like, wait, what is this? And you feel like a little itch somewhere. You're like, oh, I feel an itch down. It's your toe, but you don't picture your toe. You just feel your toe itching. You're like, what is that?
Right.
So it's a lot, man. But when you learn to meditate effectively, you jack out of the matrix of reality. I can touch this mic, I can drink here, and you go into consciousness. You jack that into there instead, and wherever consciousness is at, I don't know. They're trying to understand this shit, because that's what they're still learning about consciousness. There's a mystery behind the consciousness because we don't know where it comes from. We don't know why it's there. We just know that what it does is give you feedback to all your senses, to your reality, to because your senses includes what you see from your vision, your visual perspective, and that goes right back into consciousness, where it comes from. So it's a lot, man. But that right there is the reason why I love to meditate, because so to speak, it allows me to I guess turn off my computer for a little bit.
Right.
And
I get what you're saying.
Turn off the monitors, not the computer. The computer's still running.
Right.
I turn off the monitors, and then I'm able to see things that I usually don't pay attention to.
Right.
Like my shoulder was in pain before, but now it's not. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of things that I'm like, holy shit. There's different things I didn't realize that I'm not. Yeah. I'm not used to. It's weird. So what you do with that information, though, the point of meditation, mindfulness meditation, is you take that and you open your eyes, and then you apply that to reality. Right. So you learn about your emotions. I learn what my temper feels like. It comes around here. I feel the ball of heat right here, and then my heart does whatever it does, because I just learned recently that your heart actually plays a role. It gives you feedback off your emotions too. So it's like this is intertwined with your mind, your brain, and your gut biome is intertwined with your mind. And I don't know what else, but your senses, I guess, touching and all that shit. But it's weird that all these things affect you in the way they do. So when you go through anxiety, I learned this with this app. Okay, whenever you go through some kind of anxiety, sit there. What do you feel in that moment? Okay. Right. Where is there something you feel with anxiety? Is there something right here? What is that? And you understand it. So that the moment it starts to erupt, it's that feeling again. I know what this is. This is anxiety. Yeah. What do? Okay, you breathe. All right. Right there is when you're being mindful. Right. That is mindfulness. Okay. That is when you are aware that you're feeling something before you allow the emotion to control you. Or you react off of emotion, and instead you not control the emotion, but you understand it, and then you're mindful, and you can breathe, take care of it, and do what you got to do. One more example of my temper. I lost my temper on my wife the other day. Long story short, I'm an idiot when I lose my temper. I punch things. So I punched the wall. I punched. I messed up our idea board here. I punched a bag of chips on the floor, and Oreos flew out of this box.
Yeah.
And then I fucking went to go punch. My wife is standing right there, and I punched the because I was talking while I snapped, and then I punched the counter, and there was glass there.
Man.
Yeah, so that flew, landed on my wife, my daughter, my child, my baby on the floor, my 2 kids on the other in the living room. My baby's crying. My wife got cut by the fucking glass. I said, "Holy fuck, what am I doing?" I wasn't I wasn't being mindful. I was being mindful before it happened, but my temper, it rises and it boils up, and then I just blow up like Donald Duck from the that cartoon. When he whatever he does. I do that when I don't tell myself, get the fuck out of here, go away, because it's not her fault.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's emotions, things are happening. She's angry. She's trying to tell me something. I'm fucking arguing with her. It just causes this thing. If I don't tell myself, yo, it's gonna erupt. Get out, go, leave, get out of here, go outside, breathe, or go upstairs and breathe. You know what to do. If I don't do that, that is gonna happen. Then I'm gonna cause issues. Then I'm not controlling my body at this point. I learned that my emotion is controlling me. I am now. There's a fucking thing I'm dealing with, and I gotta suffer the consequences for my actions. There's a lot more shit that I can discuss with this, but that's not even the tip of the iceberg of what I've learned to deal with and how I manage my own emotions. So
that's one of the reasons why I'm interested in meditation. But really quickly, so one thing was so 2 things, right? And I think it could be 2 things. So 2 things is the Matrix, because I wanted to go to another thing, but they're both important. The Matrix. One thing I didn't want to forget, and I believe you're aware of this too, is that so while they're in the Matrix and are able to jack out of the Matrix, that Matrix is still a computer program, so they're still trapped. You know what I mean? So it's like, because like the world of the real is inside the computer program. So even though they're able to jack out of the Matrix, Zion in that city in the world of the real, it's still trapped in the computer program. It's just that like the Matrix is a deeper, it's like a deeper prison that they're trapped in, that other people are trapped in. But even though you're out of the Matrix, you're still trapped in that computer world because the robots, they control the planet. So they're still kind of trapped, even though they're not trapped in the Matrix anymore, but they're still trapped by AI. So like the humans, like we win the war. It's like, but we're still trapped. Like other people are still trapped in the Matrix, but it's like we still like they scorched the earth. That shit's done. So it's like it's one of those things where like when you look at consciousness as per like our reality and how you can take a moment to like step back from a bad situation or something like that, and you go, all right, it's almost like you're in your own reality, and then there's a deeper reality as per like maybe watching a movie or social media, but you can be outside yourself, like you said, like your consciousness, almost maybe like open your consciousness, I guess, or be able to step away and kind of look at things, you know what I mean, from an outer perspective. Like you say, like, oh, I'm angry now, and you know you're angry because you have that maybe like that ability to kind of snap you into like a different state of like, be aware that you're angry now.
It's mindfulness, yeah.
Right.
That's the point of mindfulness meditation. Yeah. You use that mindfulness tool in your reality to hold yourself back from doing things. I have a dumb temper, so I know what I do when so I need to be mindful. Go ahead.
But what sucks about the Matrix is a lot of those, like, so the characters that we're going on a journey with, they're not in the Matrix anymore, but they're still trapped. Because it's like, it's a computer program, and then it's the Matrix inside the computer program. So they're still stuck regardless. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, that's how it is versus just the world of the real.
So what is your point? Because
they're still trapped.
What is your point of the whole trap thing?
The whole point is that, like, at least with everyone that's jacked out of the Matrix, they're aware that there's a reality, that there's a real, rather than being jacked in the Matrix or being plugged into the Matrix and being completely absent of like, there's something controlling me. I have no control of any of this, but it's like, oh no, if you could be jacked out of the matrix, you would gain control of yourself, as being like, because you don't know you're under control, you kind of lose this sense of self. You know what I mean? So, but it's at least cool that the main characters have this ability to kind of have this external look, even though they're not in the matrix, but they're still trapped. You know what I mean? Because the robots still have them. Wow. So it's a weird thing of like, with our reality, while we can choose to go in and out of social media, or we choose to partake in like hobbies and like play video games or watch movies, we have this awareness that we can turn it off. We can stop. Even more so, like what you said with your with the meditation, but that's actually maybe a little bit of a different thing, because like you said, you're turning the monitor off, but you're going more internal, almost like you're going inside yourself, thus separating yourself from yourself, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like your consciousness is separated from your physicality, but it's inside your brain, but it's much more of a different thing. Yeah. Which is weird.
It gets really weird.
Yeah.
I can't explain a lot of weird experiences I had, but there's a lot of confusing stuff. Like the one day I had a lucid dream. I've been into lucid dreams now.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the Matrix.
Some people don't have them, they say, by the way, which is crazy too.
Some people what?
They say some people don't have the ability to have lucid, because everyone doesn't have them.
Oh, okay. I'm able to have them somehow. I don't know.
There are some people that don't lucid dream at all.
Oh, okay.
And that sucks.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been told about that.
I didn't know.
Versus the ability to recall what happened in the dream.
Yeah, a lot of people can recall their dreams. Not a lot of people, but I learned how to recall your dreams. You just need a dream journal. Because what you do is, as soon as you wake up, you got to get in the habit of writing that dream down.
Yeah.
And then you'll have better dream recall. That's what I'm learning now, because I've been doing this new thing since I don't work.
Okay.
Now. I'm able to sleep as much as I can, so I'm able to have lucid dreams. I'm learning. Yeah. I bought this book, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole different thing. But that's tapping into a different type of matrix, or a different world of understanding our mind, that you can lucid dream. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you lucid dream, you can literally, or not literally, but you can do what you can do when you become the one as Neo, and then learn to jump over that fucking far.
I know what you mean.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You can learn
being able to fly and all those kind of things.
Fly and control what you're doing inside that lucid dream. Like, you can do anything you could imagine. So anyway, recent experience I had, I forgot what was that fucking. Oh, okay. So lucid dream. Long story short, I fought vampires. It was really retarded. I stabbed the one vampire. She was fat, and it felt like a sponge. That right there activated. I didn't know how to lucid dream. But once I noticed her when I stabbed her, it was like a sponge. I was like, "What the fuck? She's not bleeding. Like, what the fuck's going on here?" And I realized I'm dreaming. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm dreaming."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just fucking. The whole transition into me being in trees, around trees, and then I saw this fruit, and I was like, "This is gonna give me the power to fucking go against those vampire bitches." And then I ate it, and it was like, I did nothing. Okay, whatever. Oh, there's a cave. What the fuck's this cave about? I went in there. Long story short, it was a Chinese cave. It was really nice, beautiful, glorious lights coming down. There was water, and it was a beautiful cave. But anyway, long story short, when I woke up, You ever had sleep paralysis?
Not in a very long time, but I
But
have
you know
had
what it is. You basically your mind
very
wakes up before your body,
or
or whatever,
you can't move,
or your body, whatever it does. Your body wakes up before whatever. Anyway, so that was scary as shit. That wasn't the case. But what I woke up, my body got up, and then I became the. This sounds crazy, so whatever.
I'm pretty sure it won't.
I don't really care about what people think, but I woke up, and then my body started moving to the bathroom. Yeah. And then I started to brush my teeth. And then I was like, yo, I'm not controlling any of this shit. And then I became the viewer. I became the seer, or person watching what I'm doing. Yeah. So people talk about autopilot mode when you go somewhere, when you're driving, and then you got there, you're like, how the fuck I got here? That happened, but I was literally watching everything I was doing. I practiced meditation so much that I think I felt like I got to a point where I became literally the person watching everything that I was doing and not controlling any of it.
before.
It was basically me getting up,
Yeah.
doing everything I do in the morning before I go to work. I woke up at 4:00. I get up.
Yeah.
I put my sandals on. I go to the bathroom. I go downstairs. But then I said, wait a minute. And then I said, stop. So I stopped. I said, this is fucking crazy. What am I doing? I'm like watching this dude do whatever the fuck he's doing. And then this is a little scary. I had scary thoughts of me doing bad things. And I don't want to share that stuff. But anyway,
that's fine.
I had to control that because it was getting out of hand.
Yeah.
So then I said, you know what? Do some yoga poses. Stretch.
Right.
And I started doing yoga poses. I was like, yo, this is fucking weird. I was telling my body what to do. Yeah. And I was like, am I tripping? Am I high? What am I doing here? Yeah. And then I was like, okay. So I just kept doing what I was doing. And then throughout the whole day, I went through my driving. And then I realized, yo, I think I meditated so much that I got to a point of being completely aware of everything that I'm not in control of. I am on autopilot mode, doing everything that I'm doing because I'm programming myself to do everything that I do every day. So I don't do that now because I'm aware now. I'm not in that state of mind, but that taught me a lot, man. That taught me a lot about our being and then blah, blah, blah. And it didn't teach me enough to understand everything that was, but that taught me enough to, I need to keep fucking doing this shit because this is fucking fascinating to me. So anyway, I talked about this before in the podcast, but I didn't really talk to someone. I think I spoke to other people. Real fast though, because you mentioned tools. Oh, I wrote down tools because you mentioned with our when we're on social media and shit. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier you had a bunch of social medias that you get on. Yeah. That is another metaphor you can look at with we have too many tabs. Right. Too many windows open. What happens when you have too many windows open?
Your computer slows down.
Yeah, the memory slows down. You're fucking, there's spam all over your fucking computer. Just cookies developing and everything else. Spamware, all that shit. Everything's fucking up your computer because you're like not being aware, paying attention. Malware, all that shit. So what do? You do all the shit you're supposed to do. Take care of it, right? So I look at that as the way you have to do with your mind. You have to do the same shit with your mind, dog. Like if you're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and you have all the social media accounts because you're following your favorite celebrities, be mindful of that because if you do it too much, obviously you have too many windows open, and that's what can clutter your brain. And you're not What do you want to focus on? If you want to focus on other people's lives, or do you want to focus on yourself? This thing here in your brain, your body. Right. If you focus on other people, this is the problem with social media is that we focus too much on out there. Yeah. We're not worrying about here.
One other thing though that's a little bit scary about social media is by that being a platform which we use to communicate.
It's a great tool.
Again, like with Facebook, if and when I choose to communicate with someone, it's a certain way. But even more so, Facebook having a certain purpose versus Twitter or whatever, because like I said, I use all those platforms very, very differently. There's different people on those platforms,
of course,
and the communications differently. Like either whether if it's personal or interpersonal or any of that. But that is a different thing. But I guess one thing I wanted to make, what I wanted to bring to importance is that for me, I don't feel like I don't want to say I don't have an issue with who I am as a person, but I feel like if I was going to say like, who is Kwadjo? That's not a simple answer. That may be a multitude of things, but it can still be under one category, which is strange about my social media because different parts of me, you know,
of course,
has various, maybe not use towards social media, but like, you know, if I want to, like it's an example, it's a lot easier for me to talk to maybe like James Gunn, for example, right? James Gunn communicates with people more on Twitter than he does on Facebook, as an example. And that allows me to kind of like tap into my artistic director, writer side or whatever, and I get to talk to a director. I can't do that on Facebook, and I don't feel like myself because I can't use Facebook that way. So like Facebook allows me to feel like more of like me because that's a part of me as an aspiring artist, whatever. That's what I guess if that makes more sense about how each social media allows me to kind of be like myself. in different ways, but they also have different purposes. So that's strange. But again, I feel like I feel like I'm very complicated, and it's strange that all those social media apps or those different platforms allow me to be me in different ways, thus communicating different ways. It's very, very strange. But again, I feel like I have an identity issue, and that's a different conversation altogether. Because I do feel like I have identity, but it's strange that social media is used that way.
Right. As you made a solid, not a solid point. Sorry.
Yeah.
You made it. You gave me whatever. You gave me an idea. I can't. My brain is cluttered now.
But I also wanted to give you a little bit more, a little bit more information about
insight. Yeah.
Why I use social media versus how it's used.
That's fine.
And how it allows me to be me versus having like this whole thing with me, because I feel like I have a lot of work to do. Again, like we're talking to therapists or whatever. So like it's a very not interesting, but I have a very hard journey ahead of me, and there's a lot of work to do.
Right.
And
if you, matter of fact, you saw my Instagram when I posted the Kevin Hart video with him saying focus on yourself.
Yeah, I did. That's strange though, because and this is different too, because like while I understand time is relative, and while by me having anxiety and understanding time is relative, I still feel like there's a loss of time. If I oversleep or if I sleep past my alarm, I still feel like time is lost, rather than like, if I don't get this done today, I can do it tomorrow. But it's a case of what's important now versus what can I compartmentalize and take care of later. Like not more so like identify myself and identity, but it's like, if I'm choosing to be active throughout the entire day, what am I going to do? Like I have a dry erase boards and I don't use them like I should.
You should.
But also a case of what's ultimately important above other things, and then organizing all those things. Like I feel like that would be very, very hard to do versus me having anxiety and maybe I'm fighting myself. But it's one of those interesting things where it's like, to hear Kevin Hart per se, who is someone that, while he does have a different lifestyle, and while time is relative, I also have to proceed a different way than he does. Like my life is very, very different. Like
that's what he says in the video too. Right.
But even more so specifically, like his job and his status gives him a different level of control versus my life.
He worked his way up there though. That's why. He was in your position, not in your exact position.
I remember,
but he was in the hood.
His career in the beginning too.
He grew up. The reason why he is where he is because he busted his ass to be there. He put the work in. He just did what he had to do because he saw his talent. He thought he was funny. I mean, people thought he was funny. He used that. Okay, well, let me go fucking write jokes and make fucking people laugh. You gotta find what is your thing that you like to do, what you love in this life, what you value in this world. Get that shit, pay attention to it, work on it. Oh, you have this issue too, you got to work on. You have your anxiety issues. Okay, let's take care of this. That's what I had to do.
Yeah.
What I'm doing here, I'm set up. I'm good.
Yeah.
This is why I'm happy. I'm fucking podcasting. I love this shit. This is what I wanted to do with films. I wanted to make films. I grew up wanting to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg. I wanted to be the next Quentin Tarantino, Tim Burton. I can name all these directors that I was inspired by. I just wanted to come. I had all these ideas and visions in my head, like that tree screaming. I had that. I said, I have this vision thing in my brain. I should use it.
Yeah.
I can make people appreciate life more. I remember watching The Matrix. It was just one of my favorite films because it made me think that I was the one. I said, I'm the one. Yeah. I'm the one that's going to make people appreciate life better, blah, blah. Anyway, you have to find, dude, what you love about life and worry about that. This attaching yourself to the objects and tools in our lives is a whole thing that fucks us up. Do I attach myself to this mouse? No. Do I attach myself to this remote control? I love PS4. I love video games so much. But do I attach myself to it? It's a part of my nature that I love it, but I don't want to attach myself to it. What do I have to prioritize on? I have to figure this shit out for myself, right? This cup, it's Game of Thrones cup. I love this cup. And if it breaks one day, I'm going to be like, fuck, my Game of Thrones cup, man. But you can't attach yourself to these objects, these tools that we need to use to make our lives better. Facebook, Instagram, social media, to me, in my opinion, you can have your own perspective, honestly, but I'm just sharing my perspective. These are tools used they can be used against us.
Yeah.
Or we can use it to what I'm doing is
Yeah.
keep my ass off of it. I banned myself for 4 days to stay off of social media, even though I got on to post a picture of our podcast, whatever. I'm just trying to promote my show, this podcast, or anything. I'm trying to promote ideas and philosophy and things that I value out of life because that's what I love to do. So I am, so to speak, I'm not Kevin Hart status, and I don't give a fuck about Kevin Hart status. That's him. He fucking worked his way up there. He sacrificed a lot. He didn't have a family or whatever before that, I think, that I know of.
Yeah.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, I don't know much. I was just saying.
That's a whole... We get my point. I have a family. I need to prioritize on what I need to prioritize on. My mental issues I had to prioritize on, and my fucking physical health I need to prioritize on. Because if I don't do that, then my family is going to get fucked over because I can't fucking take care of my goddamn fucking issues that I have. You get my point?
Yeah.
So it's a lot, man. It's complex, but it can be as simple as understanding about you. That's why when I posted that video, I said, I'm gonna just leave this here because I'm tired of explaining the same shit over, repeating myself over and over, and no one gets my message. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put this out there. Maybe someone else would take it their own and run with it. Some people got it and ran with it, and that's a long story. It's a different story. People will take what I put out and just run with it, whatever it goes on in their mind, and I don't have control over that. I explained that foggy thing that covers you, that blinds you. I don't have control over that. I tell my wife that all the time because she asks me, "Why do you waste your time with this stuff? Why do you put this energy into podcasting to try to tell people how to think?" I'm not, and I tell her, I don't want to tell people how to think. I'm doing what Kevin Hart mentioned. He's just trying to provide what he's doing that makes his life work out.
Yeah, you could be an example, pretty much.
Yeah, you could be the example. And now he's trying to give back. He's trying to create things so that people can say, oh, and be inspired by it. He has the fucking voice as a black man to fucking... for everyone that's a fan of his, not just black people, but everyone that's a fan of him to inspire, right? Joe Rogan was on one side. Joe Rogan has a lot of his own fans. I went to Joe Rogan to see him live, and he has a particular audience, which is not it's not many black, it's not many Hispanics, it's just a lot of whites, right? So he has his own audience. There's some blacks and Hispanics, of course, but Kevin Hart has his own span of audience. I'm pretty sure
that's true.
It could be whatever. It could be a majority black, a lot of whites, whatever. It doesn't matter. The whole point, though, is that he has his audience, right? And me, I don't. I don't have an audience. I have maybe 10 people listening to this podcast, and I don't care. I learned how to just do this because I love it. It's fun. It's valuable to me. It's fun as playing a video game to talk about what we're talking about here. I've never got to do this with you or with anybody, so to speak, to talk about the Matrix, because every time I try to talk about, sorry, I'm losing the word. Simulation theory. Every time I try to talk about that, some people are a little insecure with sharing their thoughts on it because they want more information behind it, or some people don't really have a creative mind, so they don't want to share their creative mind, or maybe they just, everyone has their own perspective, and it's okay. I'm not forcing anybody. But you are the first person that was intrigued by this, whatever, and we got together, and now we're sharing our thoughts and sharing our ideas, and you fucking made me so happy that you did this. I'm thankful. I appreciate you, man, because you make me happy as shit. I'm happy. Like, you make look at that smile, dog, and you're happy, right? I don't know how you feel, but this is fucking amazing. This right here.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it's while it's a personality thing for me, and just the whole thing, but I enjoy conversation. I enjoy information, but that may be more of just a completely different conversation. Even more so, like, while I enjoy watching movies, that's a conversation. That is the story being told, and it's, you know, I'm the audience to the film, and we're like an audience to each other, so to speak. But we're also sharing information. We're telling stories. We're just kind of sharing information. I just naturally enjoy conversation. Like, I've always thought about, maybe more so not particularly podcasts in general, but like again, we met in school. I still have inspiration or aspirations for acting, writing, all those things, but they're all kind of elsewhere at the moment because of personal issues. Like, I'm not together myself, so all those other things that I maybe want to do, or like hobbies or whatever, they kind of have to go on a back burner because I'm not together. You know what I mean? So, but again, above all, I do love conversation, but I still kind of have this need and or want to just talk, communicate, just tell stories. So that's kind of my natural thing. So
it's normal. That's normal, dude. I think that's in our genetics. There's a lot of shit I'm learning about our tribal mentality of how the ancestors in our past went through what they went through and they survived, right? And that's how we are here now because of their survival. They passed on their genetics and offspring all to us where we are today because they were strong as fuck because they had to survive off of killing each other, right? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Survive off of bacteria and viruses that they didn't have any technology to take care of, or wars against each other, or where we are now in modern society where things are so much better than they were 100 years ago. 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. Things are so much better in life, but guess what? Not a lot of us are appreciating that because we're so blinded by the tools, the cloud, and all these things that fuck us up, our anxiety, our emotions. We act off of them because we don't understand these tools like meditation, how it can help you clear it out a little bit and look at life. Holy shit. I got a house. Oh my God, I got my own house, my own space. It's big, but I can fucking be happy in this small cubicle space. Like I want a tiny house with my wife in the future when we don't have kids in our house. But it's like you realize, holy fuck, I got all this shit in this house. Why do I need all this shit? Blah blah. You learn a lot, dude, and it's just we're so trapped in our heads in this matrix in our minds, thinking perfection of reality. We're so trapped in that, thinking that everything's bad, man, or whatever, whether everything's negative and good. I want the more good. Let me get rid of the negative. No, you need to learn from those negatives, let them be there, but learn to look at the good too, man. Look at all of it. Like, this is life.
But here's the question though. So I think it's one of those cases of, because you know how you have the yin and yang symbol when you look at how there's, was it like the white and the black dot, and then there's the black space and the white space, and it is the circle around it. They're not separated, but they're separated, but they're all in the same thing. Like we both have our light and the dark. Now for me, again, like I don't have perfect balance, but even more so, I know I can specifically say that I don't care enough about myself.
You should,
I don't focus enough on myself. I'm much more of this internal to external thing, as per like my love for conversation, my aspirations for writing to share and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't. It doesn't. It has to start here, and there's no focus. There's not more of a focus here, or even more so like a better balance here, because I'm never going to be perfect, but I still have. I've fucked up so long for so many years that now I kind of have to play catch up. Almost like it's almost like there's a big mountain. I don't know how big the mountain is.
Who cares?
But I'm trying to climb the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just keep going.
But there's a lot of work. However, it's interesting that while, like you said, like when we talked about compartmentalization, I think that's maybe not a hard thing to do, but you know, everything takes time. Cause like for me, I'm non-confrontational. So say if I have a problem with someone that's toxic, I'm more of a chance person rather than like the pot's boiling over. Now we're going to have this conversation rather than like, I can nip it in the bud, so to speak, because if I let this person have control over me, then I don't even have to worry about confronting them or actually, well, you know, then they have control over me, so to speak. So there's that conflict as well. So I think it's very, very hard to have this sense of balance in self, first and foremost, and then, you know, trying to control things around you or be aware of control and aware that you have control, being versus the case of having information of how to control those things. Right. So I feel like that's a lot of shit, and I'm working on a lot, and it's been very, very hard. But I'm making slow progress. Again, like
easy does it.
Therapists and stuff. But I feel like meditation would definitely help. But there are also a lot of things. Oh, one other thing, real quickly, is that I've been taught and or told to appreciate things.
Gratitude.
Appreciate the small things.
Gratitude.
I feel like that's very, very hard because it's not that easy.
It's important.
It's not easy though.
I know.
And
but
I'm a very, very powerfully, emotionally, well, not energetic. I have a very, very powerful like personality. Like maybe that's just more with my zodiac sign and all that stuff, but like I'm very, very like forceful, you know what I mean? And passionate about how I feel about things and all those kind of things. So like it's hard for me to kind of go, well, if I'm aware of something and I take a step back and go, let me analyze this situation, what do I do? But I'm also conscious of there are other things there, you know what I mean? So it's not easy. And I feel like while time is relative, there is a case of like there's still less time in the day. You know what I mean? Like if I'm working on myself, but I gotta go to work in 3 hours, it's like, well shit. I'll work on myself the best way I can while I'm at work. But those more important things kind of have to go on the back burner because it's like I'm not gonna call out for work because it's like, hey boss, I'm feeling like shit right now, and it's better for me to not be a piece of shit at work, but I gotta go to work. So it's like, yeah, but time is relative. You know what I mean? So it's a very strange thing.
Real fast, I want to ask you a question before I get into what I'm going to say with everything you mentioned. When you say time is relative, what do you mean by that?
It's one of those things where time is a construct and time is just this constant thing, and it doesn't really exist because we just use it for control.
It's measurement.
But by the same token, our lives are based around control, so to speak. Like, say if I'm dealing with something and I don't have work that day, fine. But I'm still aware that this is going to go into the next day, but I will have maybe free time. You know what I mean? But there's still that case of like how, again, like the dry erase board, if I was to chart things or write down things I need to accomplish, I can then choose to say 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock and then try to work on that thing, or 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock and try to work on that thing. I'm still using time, even though time doesn't exist, but it's still this constant relative thing, but I'm still using time. But I'm so fixated on the concept of time that it fucks me up because it's like, no, I know it doesn't exist, but I'm still using time to control things. And it's still kind of, while it doesn't control me, I have to use it to control things. So it's this very strange thing for me. But for me, I'm having a hard time rewiring my brain around the concept of time and being able to control time my own way, rather than like, I'm out of control of time because it's like, I know there's time in the day, I'm not taking advantage, even more so of like the days that I have priorities to do, or if I choose to do priorities on that particular day, or just whatever, you know what I mean? Like how I choose to live each day.
Right. Okay. I was just curious because every time you kept saying that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? I kept trying to put it together myself, but
yeah.
Okay. So I don't lose what I wanted to say with the gratitude thing. That's what I do, right? Every morning, I write down 5 things that I appreciate. On my accountability mirror, as it's called, I got this from David Goggins. He gave a great idea to write on a bunch of sticky notes, put it on your bathroom mirror or wherever you have a mirror that you always see, because that mirror is you looking at yourself, and the notes surrounding it is the reminders of what you can do. All right. So one of the notes I have on my accountability mirror is gratitude, what I appreciate, the 5 things. And it's always the same shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You could change it if you want. You could change that. What are the new 5 things you appreciate, or what something else, or maybe you go mix it up. But the whole point is to remind you in the beginning of your day, in the morning, as soon as you wake up, what do you appreciate in life?
Right.
In your life. Okay? Do you appreciate you? If you don't appreciate you, you should.
Yeah.
Because you're living.
Right.
If you don't appreciate you, then you're fucked up. That's probably the cause of your demise, the cause of your fucked up, how you can't hardwire yourself because you're not focused on yourself. So you have to say myself. The first thing. That's the first thing for me. Then it goes with family, our health, our world, our resources, the food that we eat, the water, all this. You just think of that because then you can appreciate those 5 things easily. Now, you say it's hard, but the reason why it's hard because humans, we have difficulties building habits. The reason why we have difficulties building habits, from what I understand, is because we don't have a purpose behind those habits. So it's hard for me to just work out every day when I want to work out. I gotta work out.
That makes sense.
The reason why it's hard to work out is because I need a purpose behind it. What am I working out for? To look good for my wife, or to feel good with internally, so that I can feel good and not feel like shit and tired. What are the benefits of working out? Look them up. Learn about it. Okay, now I want to work out. Now I understand. So I'm motivated. This is what people get confused with motivation. Motivation is internal. It's an emotion that arises. You're motivated to do something because, I want to do that because this, whatever, underscore. Now you're going to do it. Something inspires you to want to do something. I'm thinking, man, that could be me. I could do that. You found your purpose of doing it. Now I'm motivated to do it. So you do that shit. Now you got to discipline yourself to go and fucking do it now. So you take over and while you have the chance. Don't make excuses. Don't make the bullshit excuses. I can't now. I gotta do this thing. I gotta do this. I have no time. When people, that's the thing. I learned all this shit, and I hate when people say that they don't have time for something. Not that I hate, but because I have to understand that people just have that perspective, thinking that time is control of their life. No. There's 24 hours in your day. There's technically 24 hours. There's no time. Time, like you said, time is relative. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Time is relative. It doesn't exist. So do it. Pick a time. Pick a time that we use to measure the day. We've learned to do that. So use it as your measurement. All right, 6 p.m. today, every day, I'm going to work out. And no fucking excuses. I don't do anything usually at 6 p.m. Let me do it then. Or 6:30, I'm going to meditate every day. I can just do it for 5 minutes. So that's the other problem that we have. We have issues holding habits, controlling habits, or building habits because it's hard to do something when it takes effort, too much effort. So you have to minimize the effort. So for you, I would recommend with gratitude every morning, you have to write this down to remind yourself, right? Use that whiteboard as a reminder to, all right, what do I have gratitude for? Maybe if I want to use the accountability mirror, let me do that. So let me write gratitude or things I appreciate, whatever the way you want to write it, and then write the 5 things or the one thing, at least one thing. And put myself. It starts with you, right? It starts with you, myself. Then go down the line. What else do you appreciate? What else do you want to appreciate? Just you know what I mean? Rehack your brain. Think, and like, don't say that you don't appreciate your body because you don't take care of it. No, I do have gratitude for my body because I'm still alive. I still have all my limbs. I'm not fucking. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Not to say that for those that don't have the limbs.
Isn't that much more of a deeper thing? Well, again, like so, when I've written gratitude things before I kind of stopped. Well, I can talk about that a little bit later because I did have maybe not really a routine, but when I was seeing a therapist, every week I was supposed to do gratitude, and I literally tried, and maybe I made it way too hard to do rather than like
we do that
being
all the
way
time.
more simpler, like you said. But I will say that not once did I write myself in any shape or form was I grateful, and that's interesting because not to fault my therapist or anything like that. She didn't have a problem with that, but it's interesting that she didn't make light of that. And us and talking to first Blake, we do talk about, she and I were talking about me and myself and all those other things because I personally don't like myself, and that's a whole other conversation because of just like everything else, but anxiety, depression, whatever. And there's just stories behind it, but not once have I ever named things things to be grateful for, even more so like my health, myself personally, or whatever, or any of those things. Just like regarding around myself, like I don't think I have the shittiest health in the universe, even though depression is still pretty bad. But like I do have like all of my limbs and stuff like that. So like even I wasn't grateful for myself just in general. You know what I mean? But I did lose contact with the therapist I had a while ago, and that kind of has thrown me for a loop because I kind of had routine, and that routine has been broken. And now I'm just kind of more so just like, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really just a whole lot of things that I'm having to try to get used to now. And just, I haven't really changed anything.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of things in my brain that are kind of like constant reminders of things. Like I would go see my therapist every Friday. And since the virus happened, we lost communication because we were talking on the phone, and then something happened.
Right.
I was going to stop seeing her anyway, because we want to finish our sessions. I was going to get a new therapist, but something happened. I don't know what happened. We just lost. It could be just the business that she works for and all that. And I just lost contact, but I lost routine. I lost habit. And now I've been kind of just, I've been kind of like running aloof amongst other things that are just trouble and just issues in my life.
Yeah.
But regarding gratitude, I never did once was grateful just for me,
right, man. So let me tell you something. For therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, all the people that are experts in the neurosciences, they are experts because they went to school, they got a degree in it. But this is what my problem is with experts, and not to dismiss all of them. They're to each their own. But the problem I have with it is that we forget about the people who experience shit. Right. You yourself have way more experience with everything you've experienced than anybody in the world. True. So you know yourself, so to speak, more than anyone, or you should know yourself more than anyone else can know you. Everyone else would have their perception or perspective on you, but you should understand all these things, but you have to do all the work. That's the problem. You have to understand. There's things I'm working on a system. I'm coming up with my own thing. I told you I didn't like life coaches and shit. I don't want to call myself that, but I am, so to speak, trying to come up with a website and all these things so I can help people do things to follow, to pick and choose what they want from my system of things that I do for myself to hold myself in line, if so to speak. Right. You see how you said you once your therapist, you lost touch with your therapist, everything was just like, I am trying. I don't need a therapist. I never saw a therapist in my life. I never, because I was hard headed to call one, because I always thought it was, I was scared. It was a lot of things. Right. But then I thought, recently I told myself, because when I lost my temper and I lost control of it, I said, fuck, man. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I thought I was doing everything right. And I realized what I was doing wrong. I didn't fucking.
Real quick. I wondered though, if that's connected to like what they call the placebo effect of, I think I personally believe that therapists help, therefore talking to a therapist does help. So if that works,
that's what I'm saying.
Because I believe a therapist can help me, and I've had experience with therapists in the past that have actually helped. I initially, from the very first time I saw a therapist that worked out, things kind of can have consistently continued that way. So for me, therapists work, even though every therapist is not going to be perfect, and it's going to be a different flavor and different strengths from each therapist. So that's a different case. But there's that rewiring of my brain of me just believing first and foremost that a therapist can help. Thus they are able to help because I allow them to help me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So again, I look at a therapist as like guided meditation. Right. The Sam Harris, I listen to his app. He's guiding me through meditation. He's telling me what I should be focused on instead of me doing it by myself. So I technically am learning from the teacher. All these people that learn things, they learn things from books. They learn things from science and data and evidence, and they gather all the shit and they put it all into a degree that you can go learn and get yourself, and then you can learn to help other people. So that's how I look at therapy. Yeah. That's why I don't want my words to come out like, oh, fuck therapists, fuck all. You know what I mean? But because they are helpful. But the thing is, it's like for people like me, I can't get paid to do this stuff. I wish I could make a living doing this. I would help so many fucking people, I think. And my ego, whatever, I don't know if it's... See, this is the problem. This is why it's a system, because I want to see if it works, if it's effective. It works for me, but what works for me may not work for others, right? So if all these people came up with science and data and blah, 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 and came out with degrees so that they come out with therapists, why can't I learn to figure shit out on my own and then...
I get what you're saying.
Do my own thing. So that's why they have all these resources like programming my own website. I can learn how to be which I'm doing. I'm trying to program so I can come out with my own website, blah, blah, blah. My apps. I'm trying to do my own shit so that I can help people too. Yeah. sorry, again, the person who didn't tell you to look at yourself as someone you should have gratitude for, like
Yeah.
you said, it's no fault of her own. It's just that
Yeah. Well, you know what? She did,
she might have
but
said it, but you probably didn't hear it.
I don't, and I'm not saying it should have been a case of like, and to be honest, I've lost contact, and it may have been like an every week thing. And I did stress that while I wanted to see her more, that may be more of a personal problem for me, because whether I do write it down or was I writing a gratitude like every day, she made it. She tried to help me by making it way easier rather than like have the whole week to write down things to be grateful for, rather than maybe I should have been practicing doing it every day. And that's no fault to her, but for me, I still have a very hard time just giving a shit about me.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, because it's the thing. It's a work in progress, man. You have she was trying to give you the baby steps, because that's what you have to do. You have to do to get to, the reason why she was doing that is because what I wrote down. You need to have a purpose behind your habits, right? If you want to gain the habit of writing 5 things every day. Me, I'm not even perfect. I fuck up sometimes. I forget to write it, or forget to look at it and remind myself. So I'm like, damn, it's been 2 days. Shit, let me get back on that. So I lose track too. But as long as I keep doing it. But my point is, baby steps, man. You do it once a week, right? But the next week, now you do it twice a week, or whatever. You know what I mean? So the first week you do it once. The next week you do it twice. The next week you do it 3 times, 4 times. The next week, so on. It goes up until you gain that habit every day. And then if you want that habit because you need it, because you see yourself, this actually works for me. All right, keep the fucking habit. But like me, I need to meditate every day. I have to. If I don't, I am not going to be mindful as I usually am. And I'm also learning that I need to kick that bag downstairs that I have. I have a Thai bag.
Right.
Because I don't go to the gym now because it's coronavirus shit. So I can't work out and burn myself out. This is why I love jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, because I found something that burns off that anger, that energy, that dark passenger I have. I have a dark passenger that tries to fuck with my brain. And I go to this training and he's gone. He disintegrates. Like, fuck, that felt good. So, and it's a constant thing. It doesn't disappear. He still comes and goes. Right. But because I had Balance Studios,
but isn't that also the like the case of like release? Right?
Yeah, release, man.
Almost like if you look at how like magic works, where like you have a magic pool and you empty your magic pool and then it has to fill back up.
Yeah.
Now, like, and you're saying, maybe if you say like that's negative energy, like when you work out, you're working out it. When you're working out that stress, you're just depleting that. So I know, and even for me, I did do a whole lot of stuff, but I have to figure out what the specific most important priorities are. Obviously, caring about me first and foremost for everything else. But it's really hard for me to. I feel like it's hard for me to do that because I am the way because of the way my life functions. You know what I mean? Like my phone doesn't ring all the time, doesn't ring a lot, doesn't ring daily, but I'm often being called by family members or whatever, or friends or whatever, or I maybe need to have a need to reach out there. Therefore, I'm not focusing on myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's issues with that. If that makes sense. Versus me taking time to myself to do like hobbies, which is a focus thing. Yeah. That's different too.
So let me give you one little example of my day real fast, just to give you an example. Nobody calls me. I don't really have much of a social life anymore. Not a lot of people call me. It's like, it's kind of depressing in a sense when I look at it. I always analyze that because I am a person that loves to interact with people. This is why I do this podcast. Right. This podcast is my therapy, honestly. That's another reason why I love it, because I get to talk to people. It lets me interact with another human being. Other than, I love my wife and I love my kids, but you got to interact with other people too. Right. There's a lot of things that I am learning about this body and my mind and all these things that I am, that you have to learn about yourself, of why you're all these complications. This is why that whiteboard of yours is perfect to write all that shit on there, to either use it. I use mine now as to write down my ideas, so that I'm trying to remind myself what my goals are. So I have all my goals, and I have a couple quotes there, like value life, value time is a constant thing. It's my
Right.
It's value life, value time is my reminder to always put value in every day.
Right.
In my life every day. And all my time that I put into my day is not going to be every minute, every second, but it's going to be at least times I'm like, yeah, I need to what am I doing here? Am I on Facebook too much? Let me get the fuck off. Let me sign off. Oh, fuck it. Let me sign off 4 days. Let me value my 4 days and not be on social media because I don't need to. I don't need to be on social media. Why do I have to be on it? Anyway, I have all that on a board as a reminder so I can look at it. Oh, yeah. Let me do that. Okay. So you can use that for you, the whiteboard as a reminder. That's why whiteboards are amazing. The accountability mirror is another tool. And journaling. That's another one that I hear about often, right? So many people, a lot of actors and celebrities and famous people.
A lot
of them journal and meditate.
I haven't written it in a while.
Yeah. Writing your thoughts down and all your issues and your complications and how you wire your brain and what you identify yourself as and, oh, this is what I am and this is why I don't care. But you write that shit down because then you figure shit out. When I write my thoughts down here, it's because I'm going to forget. I know I forget.
Yeah.
So anything you mention and talk about, shit, let me write that down because I'll forget. It's going to vanish.
Yeah. The short-term memory.
Yes.
I will definitely make a habit of that.
You have to have a purpose behind it.
To go into my, well, I mean, even more so, again, but that's not weird, but that's one of those specific things of like, okay, for the case of me on my pursuit to become a writer, I'm supposed to write every day. At least that's what I remember just from school in general. Like, you're supposed to write every day. And writing in a journal is just one of those methods to writing every day. Because the moment I wake up, I'm supposed to write everything. I'm supposed to just write stuff down. Spend a specific amount of time writing down. The dream journal, that's one of those things too. But I know for me, at least I remember my dreams. So that's cool for me. I have no problem with that. It's no excuse. But I did at one point in time spend for a longer period of time when I was in school. But of course, not being in school, there's just that routine that's gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not getting up every day to go to school. So I'm not mindful of having to do that every day. Because, I had to go to a specific English class. I had to bring that journal and I had to give it to the teacher. And, while I was working on while I was working on an assignment, she would give the journals back and then we would go home and then we would write and keep that cycle going. So I was writing every day, more so than just like, if I was personally writing every day, like working on a favorite script or something like that, like I should be doing, but just the aspect of practicing writing every day, I was using that journal as one of those methods and to naturally, maybe not, I would say subconsciously choosing to write every day rather than like, oh, I got to force myself to write, but it became a normal, natural habit. And it wasn't bad, but I've lost that habit since I've been out of school, so I have a lot to work on, but I think it's not hard and I can take my journal or whatever. I'll keep it by my bed so it'll be there when I get up and when I see it, so I can immediately go right to it. Because if I don't actually keep my journal near me, I'll definitely forget about the shit. That's for damn sure.
Right.
So I will definitely have to put it near me, put it in my vicinity, and then my brain will be rewired and I will be much more aware of it. Like if maybe even more so, like if I have a table in front of my bed and I get up and trip over it, I know it's there. You know what I mean? So like it's hard for me to kind of like rewire my brain to like set certain things in motion. So like I may have to go that extra step, but I can do that. That's something very, very easy. Even more so like if it's something like, if I just, like I said, somewhere I'll put my journal near me and I'll just have it there and I'll make sure no matter what I do for the rest of the day, I'll make sure that I definitely write in that journal for at least 5 minutes or something every day. Because I want to write. Of course, I would like to write professionally as a job or whatever. But in the meantime, I need to start writing just in general. And I don't even do that. More so than just like not even having gratitude as another thing I just don't do or whatever. So like there's a lot of things I would need to change daily as 100% important habits. You know what I mean? So
you just gave out a lot of information from yourself.
Yeah.
From your mind, where your consciousness, how you delivered that. You're speaking your feelings of what you want to do. You want to write. So you know what to do now. Like when we're done with this, if you want to write after this,
Yeah.
go write. Like I said, we have to come up with our own system to
Right.
figure out how we can work in this matrix. You know what I mean? How we can
How
work
much time do you have? By the way? Not to cut you off. I apologize.
I was gonna wrap it up soon because I gotta get off at
Okay.
9 because I gotta take care of my daughter.
All right,
But,
that's perfect because I'll be going to work maybe like an hour after that. So that's perfect.
all right. We could wrap it up soon anyway. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to just say that everything that we talked about, I hope helps you, focus on these things like yourself for one.
Yeah.
Gratitude. You say you want to write every day, so you start. That's a habit that you should write down on your whiteboard.
Yeah.
Write every day. You need to whatever. What do you want to write? Write. I don't care.
Right.
Write my thoughts. Okay. Write the story that I want to write. Write
Yeah.
whatever. Write. Okay. Write about my thoughts. Why am I angry or not angry? Why am I?
Yeah.
Why am I anxiety? How does it? You can learn a lot about yourself when you write. That's
Yeah.
the best thing about writing. I can tell you right now, Q. I have this one book.
Yeah.
I have 6 other books, all different for different things. I just added a new
wow.
one. So I have one
Yeah.
for meditation now, so that whenever I think of a creative thing, I'll write that down. I have a book for my coding, my programming, because I'm learning how to code.
Yeah.
I have a book for my dream journals. So when I'm dreaming, I'll have that right next to my bed, so I can write my dreams. I have a book on just life, my book of thoughts. That anything that I want to write for my kids, any information that just in case I die, because that's another thing we need to talk about. We could die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. I could get hit by a car. I could die in a car crash. God forbid, with my daughter in the back seat. Like, anything can happen. I could be out of this matrix by just ending my life, And that's why I love simulation theory too, because it reminds me that I could fucking die, dude. And that's another thing that I remind myself with this negative shit out here. I watched First 48. I watch. I didn't watch it because of me. I watched it because of my wife. First 48 and Forensic Files. It's teaching me a lot, giving me a lot of perspective of all the bad shit out there. First 48 is a detective show showing all these murders happening, and Forensic Files shows you all these crazy ass, disgusting murders that happen and how they use forensics to discover.
I forgot about both of those. I'm aware.
Those you don't have to watch that shit, but my wife watches it because she wants to be a forensic scientist, which is weird. I see dead bodies and I'm like, but anyway, I found a fascination with her that is like, oh shit. And I found something to appreciate with the show. So now I watch it with her. So that gives me a connection with my wife because we don't watch stuff that
the same stuff, right?
Yeah. So we got to find, it's all compromising, looking for things to appreciate about this thing, whatever. Anyway, so First 48 and Forensic File is a reminder of the reality that we live in. Of the evil that we have to live by. So I can't. I'm in the hood right now. I can't be out there with my daughter at 10 o'clock just lollygagging because anything can happen. Someone could just shoot each other, and I'm in the middle of that shit. And my daughter gets shot now, and now I'm fucking desperate.
I just had another thought, by the way. If I wanted to follow up.
Yeah. But you get my point.
Going back to the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the Matrix. Interestingly enough, with Agent Smith talking about the Matrix and how humans they couldn't function versus to how Patton Oswalt spoke about how he wants to get back to the Matrix. More so for Agent Smith, we were giving this paradise, so to speak, right? And we were ultimately sentenced to death because we were used for energy, but we wouldn't have to worry about any of those things of like a funeral or any kind of conscious thought. You know what I mean? That is interesting that they say in that movie, and based off the previous Matrixes, that humans at one time were giving a perfect, magical, mystical, conscious life, and it was like, nah. I guess the human brain was just so powerful that it rejected it. That is scary, but that also should mean that the humans should have defeated the robots. Maybe not in that particular film, but eventually, because if the human consciousness is so powerful that it was able to break free of this hypnosis that the Matrix gave us, then the robots should actually fear us. But the movie doesn't really touch on that. And again, that's why I wanted to maybe kind of go back to the fourth film, because I feel like that's something that doesn't make sense to me. And even more so, which may actually be a clue in the film, when you look at Neo achieve his state in the beginning, at the end of the film, where he becomes the one, he's able to strike fear in the agents, and they were afraid of Neo rather than like, there's a human that's jacked to the Matrix. They're afraid of us. We're just gonna kill him or whatever. But before that, remember, I forget who says it to Neo, but it was like, do what we do. You see an agent, you run, because we're supposed to be afraid. We're supposed to be afraid that we don't have any control, because obviously some of those people in that Matrix, they're not Neo. They don't have any control, but Neo does. He's aware, much more aware, because he's the one that's supposed to be ultimately separate. But again, it's interesting that maybe you could say, maybe not even with the first Matrix, that there may have been more people like Neo versus like the human consciousness was that much power, was so powerful that it created the consciousness or the concept of the one, thus thinking like, nah, we're breaking free from this shit. We're breaking from this control. Don't tell me this shit is perfect. I mean, I know this is not perfect. Not even to the point of like, I know that I'm a battery for something that's controlling me, but it's like, nah, the human brain is like, I'm breaking control of this shit. That's crazy. It's almost scary in a way that kind of makes me rethink, thinking more as I think more about the Matrix, because like I've loved the film for years. I've watched it for years. I've had various interpretations each time I watched it, but thinking more so about it now kind of makes things a little bit more weird versus like maybe it's deeper to me than it was originally intended by the writers, versus wondering if the future film is going to touch on that, or maybe it just won't.
Maybe.
But,
I mean, because like all things, everything film based is all creative based on the people's brain, and we know how films are created by multiple writers or the one writer or whatever. But it's all the one person's perspective on life, so it's not going to be what you may want to see out of it. Maybe. That's the problem. But the beauty about films is that you can interpret it in your own way. It doesn't matter if it's a fantasy or not. You can give it meaning in which the creator of that film did not intend to do. Like what everything we discuss in this podcast, if we get, I don't know the writer of the film, I forget his name, of the director and all that. If we get the
I think it was just the Wachowski siblings. Okay. I think we have to call them that rather, because they're not the Wachowski brothers anymore.
Okay.
So and because the whole thing. So I usually just call them the Wachowski siblings. To keep it much more simpler.
They whatever they intended, we would have to talk to them and then share everything we just said, and then see what and they might think, what the fuck? I didn't think of it that way, but hey, that's cool. That's cool. Like, cause that's what film and art is all about, man. It's about creating amazing ideas in your head to develop stuff and whatever you do with it. That's what art is about. It's about creating beauty in your life. It helps us see things better than what we see in real life. It's hard to say, but that's why I love art. Doesn't matter what it is. Like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which kind of touches base on the multi-universe thing.
You're very right about that. Yeah, that's a different discussion too.
Yeah, we can do that in another podcast. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, just running all the way back to the Matrix idea. That it's like the foundation of what led me to hear about thinking of this shit as a simulation, and seeing the evidence little by little, these little things like, that's adding to the simulation theory. But all that does for me, whether, like I said, at the end of the day, whether it's real, the simulation, or not, doesn't matter. I love my life. I love the simulation. I love consciousness. I love when I meditate and then plug into that. And I love coming back to reality, because I am here because of what everything has happened in my life. happened, and now I'm here. My wife, her decisions,
Right.
her own consciousness, everything led her here. Me and her created this beautiful child that
Right.
has given me a whole different world of perspective of how life is. And it just, dude, just things shift. But you have to focus on you to get there.
I know.
So
It
is a weird thing.
It's a shame that it's a one day at a time thing for me, but it's that much more complicated.
Look,
for me, so to speak.
Right. And I'm gonna be fair.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I still fucking deal with issues, man. Like I found a system. Okay, it works,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to keep doing stuff. I have to still tinker. This coronavirus thing, it didn't affect me at all. I'm not scared of it.
Is that a Legend of Zelda shirt, by the way?
Yes, it is. It's him blowing the Nintendo cartridge.
Nice.
Shout out to tfury.com. I got it years ago. When I was addicted to buying T-shirts, graphic tees for them.
I would love to talk to you about Zelda one day too. That would be interesting.
The next podcast. That's why I love podcasting, because you could just the next episode, whenever you come back, we could discuss it.
Now, I'll probably just talk to you off air, I guess, because I have interest in doing a podcast myself, and I've been trying to figure that out, and that's been a whole another thing. But
go check out my last episode, actually, with not my last episode, but the one with when I mentioned in it that we discussed how to start a podcast.
Right. I have to check that one out.
He asked me all these questions, or you could just hit me up. It doesn't matter. But I was just saying, I'm just telling my listeners too that if you want to learn how to podcast, you can listen to that episode with Mike Bruno. Right. I forget what number it is, but I go over all that shit. How you started, what equipment that you get, what encouraged me to do it, why do I like doing it, blah blah, all that shit. But you can personally just hit me up and ask me shit. Is there anything that you want to say to wrap as we wrap this up? Anything you want to any last words?
I don't know, man. I think I covered as much as everything I pretty much wanted to talk about, but I hope that I was able to provide some newer information, or just maybe just deeper insight about just this whole topic conversation. I always thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've often had this conversation with a coworker about The Matrix, but that was more so in the case of we were judging the movie versus the writing on that stuff. But again, when I got a chance to think deep about it more this way versus to how we were just talking about it subjectively and objectively, that was a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I enjoy talking about movies at great length, and a lot of my friends don't. So there was always just that thing too.
There's your podcast idea there.
But I enjoyed this experience, and I'm grateful for it. I'm happy for it, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. So I just encourage you, if you don't have any idea to, we can talk about it off air. But I just had that podcast idea is right there for you. If you wanted to, if you love talking about films, hey, you got that. You can just a couple things you can do. Anyway, all right, Q. I appreciate you being on the show. Do you want to share your Instagram or anything on here while you're on here? Your Twitter, it doesn't matter.
I don't, only because they're all personal.
It's fine.
Right. No. And I am, of course, and with inspirations to maybe do a podcast, then I will have business links and stuff like that. But they're all personal right now, so it's kind of like they have to be separate.
That's all good, man. So next time you come on, I hope that you do everything that you want to do. Focus on yourself, journal, and then come up with writing. Maybe you want to blog, maybe you want to podcast. Yeah. And then next time, maybe we can share that stuff instead.
Okay.
All right, cool. Use that as your motivation or something.
That sounds cool.
All right, man. I appreciate you being on. And
all right, no problem.
I'm going to wrap this up right here and just cancel that.
All right, cool.
All right, peace, man.
All right, peace.